It took a game of paintball to fire the Blues up for their first win in 6 weeks.
And Carlton keep their season bubbling with a third win.
Look what tricks they're up to now. After a promising start to season 2007, the Power have come crashing back to earth.
Oh, big clips, great commitment. And the Hawks have 4 points. They've been able to overshadow the home team.
But history shows the Power have beaten the Blues in their past 8 meetings.
He is having a day out. Beautiful kick. Potter got 3 in a row.
Live from Melbourne on Saturday Night Football, it's Carlton and Port Adelaide. They may be sitting in 14th position with only 3 wins to their name, but there are some good signs for the Carlton Football Club. A great win last week at the MCG, 10 points the margin over the Western Bulldogs. They played some exciting football and they will need to do so again to get over Port Adelaide. Now, Port were flying after 7 weeks. They were 6-1, top of the table. They have come absolutely crashing back to earth. They've lost 3 on the trot, and they will be desperate to maintain their position in the top 8 with a win tonight. Good evening and welcome to Saturday Night Football. Our resident Brownlow medalist, Jared Healy, will cast his trained eye over proceedings as always. There's a lot to like about. I reckon this could be a sleeper tonight.
Well, I love it when you get excited, Jason. It doesn't happen often, but I can sense that you think that this one could be a belter. Port Adelaide have let their coach down, I think, over the last 3 weeks. They set their season up really well, 6-1. They should be a lot further up the ladder than they are. I expect them to rebound tonight because they had some big inclusions, in particular Brogan and Wilson, Nathan Cracker also in, but they've got to get some goals and get them early, and I think against this back line of Carlton, they sense that they're a chance.
Absolutely. It's good news that there's no late changes. We don't have that news too often these days. Normally there's a late change or two. O'Halpin will have his hands full if he's the man to do the job on Warren Treader, although we're going to talk a little bit more about Treader in a couple of moments, Kerry.
Yeah, I think Peter Burgoyne is one that may get a tag by Andrew Walker. Bryce Gibbs has done a terrific job across half-back, pushing up to the wing at times. Salopek, great to see him back. Number 3 for Port Adelaide, showed a lot of courage last week, but plenty of pressure on Sean Burgoyne. He'll get a tag, no doubt about that, because he's shown that he can't break them tonight. He has to pull the proverbial digit out. Mark Murphy, well, he's going to be in that same position. He will also be tagged, and a big one in the middle for Kane Ackland because he's up against 2 of the premier rucks in the league, and I'm not sure whether help is going to come. It's generally been Satanta, but I suspect he'll be needed down back.
Yeah, a lot of ruck work ahead for Kane Ackland. Chad Corns is having a superlative season. Where he starts, who knows? They might need him down back because the Blues have been loading up their forward line and kicking plenty of goals.
And Darryl Wakelin, of course, been in pretty good form up against Brendan Favola, who's just been off a little bit the last couple of weeks, needs to get a big bag tonight. Kutafuti's a pretty handy player to have on the bench.
Well, here come Port Adelaide out onto the arena. They haven't quite won the last 8, Jared. We took a little bit of poetic licence. They've won 7 and had 1 draw from the last 8 meetings, so plenty of confidence there. But worrying signs, they're 14th in long kicks and 14th in inside 50s over the last month.
Well, it's just something that they've got to get behind them and put, I guess, just put their winning hat back on. This is a quality side. They've got half a dozen of the elite players in the competition, particularly with the Burgoynes, with Treadray, of course, who's well down, and their ruck division is outstanding as well. Throw the Corns brothers in, and this side should win tonight, but given their recent form, it's difficult to tip them with any confidence.
Yeah, it's been a very sad time for Port coach Mark Williams with the passing of his mother last week, but great to see him back in control tonight, although Rowan Smith, our man down in the rooms, took the opportunity to catch up with Port Adelaide's assist 3 weeks. The Blues, they should be chock full of confidence, although a worrying statistic, Jared, they've won just 1 of their last 13 here at the Telstra Dome. But they are second in the competition for long kicks in 07, and that's the reason they're scoring plenty of goals.
And well done to Jordan Bannister as well, the recognised by the cheer squad there for 50. But I love it when you talk those numbers, Jason. It doesn't read well, but Carlton's last year obviously is going to present with a lot of difficult numbers for them to comprehend. And I guess that's what it's all about now, turning those negatives into positives for Carlton. It's going to be a challenge tonight for them.
They've beaten Port Adelaide since 2001, but they had a good win last week. They'll be looking for 2 in a row, and Rowan Smith also caught up with Dennis Pagan a short time ago.
Well, Dennis, a terrific win last week.
Yeah, it was. It's a long while ago now. We've really got to focus on the challenge tonight, Rowan.
Favola and Whitnell last week kicking 2 goals and you end up kicking 21. It's a terrific effort.
Yeah, it certainly worked out well, and we aim to get a spread of goal kickers every week, and it worked out for us last week.
Matty Lappin kicking 4 goals in the third quarter was terrific as well.
Well, it probably was special to watch that, and the way he was up, the way the forwards were able to work together, and Matty getting on the end of it was terrific.
I was going to ask you about a bit of passion and a bit of spirit during the week of training with Santana and Kane Ackland.
Yeah, look, it was just one of those things that happened doing a bit of ruck work, and Santana accidentally hit Kane on the bridge of the nose with his forearm when they were doing the ruck work, and spontaneous reaction, and yeah, I don't mind that every now and then.
And you're wearing the black armbands tonight. What's that for?
Yeah, the victims of the road accident up in the northwest of the state, up at Kerrang. It was a tragic thing, and management decided that that's one way we could pay our mark of respect.
Good luck tonight, Dennis.
Thanks, Rowan.
There's a very fitting tribute from the Blues with the armbands. This man snuck under everybody's guard last week. They loaded up their forward line with tools, with big names, but the match winner was the little bloke Matty Lappin with 5 goals.
He's one of the smartest players going around, Jason. I really like him as that sweeper across the midfield, but can be exposed for pace to some degree. But if he plays forward, he's got to play that deep forward role. He's been an All-Australian small forward. He knows where the goals are, and he is dangerous with a capital D. And he's done it ever since he was a youngster, first on the scene with the Saints, but an All-Australian forward in form.
He certainly is, and we can just see him warming up here, having a few shots for goal. He'll be hoping to have the radar working tonight. A couple of other unsung heroes for the Blues. Andrew Carazzo.
Yeah,
now, here's a guy that started off as a tagger a couple of years ago. It's a good story just to the way that he fought his way into the system, but he's now chalking up plenty. 37 touches last week. He might find himself getting tagged.
Well, there was a player in the famous Judd draft, and he didn't get selected, but at under 18 level with those legends of the game now, Ball and Hodge and Judd, he was a very important player, and he had to go through the rookie list. But there's Jordan Bannister. Well, he's going to probably get another big job after Brad Johnson last week. But well done to him. It's been a long time coming, but finally he gets his 50th game. Terrific effort.
It certainly is. We've got the first bounce coming your way very, very shortly. We saw Satanda Halpin dancing around last week. Will he be dancing again tonight?
Gibbs. O'Halpin, just come on. Hot footy for a moment. Still O'Halpin. Oh, got away with it. Little one in. Oh, gee, I wish Fed had got hold of it. He would have banged it through. Still rolling around. Go on, Dennis, help me out.
Santana goes back for a rematch. They're working him hard. Slips it away. Good hand pass Wiggins. Here's an opportunity. Long kick is good.
Oh, that was just wonderful play there by Santana O'Halpin. I reckon he had 10 touches in this.
Just about ready for a start here at the Telstra Dome. Port Adelaide have won the toss. They will kick to the right of screen, and we welcome the Pavarotti of footy callers to the microphone, Clinton Gribus. Looking forward to tonight's action, Clinton.
So am I, Jason. Not sure about the introduction, but thank you. Dean Brogan on screen. Aren't they happy to have him back at Port Adelaide? It's been a remarkable slide. First to 7th in 3 weeks. Mark Williams says not entirely unexpected, but they're steeled for this one. Their physicality question. They're delighted to get Dean Brogan and Michael Wilson returning tonight. We're delighted to have the 300 gamer at ground level. Rowan Smith, good evening to you.
Good evening, guys. How are you going up there? Look, perfect conditions down here, as it always is here at Telstra Dome with the roof shut. Dean Brogan starting on the bench. That's an area where Port Adelaide can really stretch Carlton and in the midfield. So it's all ready for a good game here, boy.
Yeah, it's going to be a beauty. Thanks for that, Rowan.
Interesting that O'Halpin is going forward for the Blues. Whitnell's going back, so he looks like the matchup for Warren Treadray. We've seen O'Halpin play very well at centre-half back.
Now, this is assuming he's gone the right way, Jason, because they have got 7 Blues in the forward 50 and he is an Irishman.
Oh, you are harsh, Clinton.
Well, he's got 3 goals in his career, Satanda, so there's a shock. He's starting in the forward line. Already Wilson banging bodies with Bentic in the middle. There's Satanda. The Port players looking at one another down there saying, all right, who's got him? Pettigrew, in the end, might be the man to wander around. There is Michael Wilson, eager to return.
In fact, Thornton has gone to Warren Treadray, which leaves Whitnell on the second gamer. in Justin Westhoff, and he's going to play a little bit in front of the deep forwards.
And Toby Thurstons has picked up Jared Wade, who started at centre half, and they've charged in and throwing some arms everywhere.
Off we go for Saturday night football. Craig Henry, Derek Woodcock and Darren Goldspink. Our umpires are wired for sound on Saturday night football as you check Cooter on the Blues bench with Russell, Blackwell and Wiggins. Second bounce in the middle, controlled by Ackland. Walker and Wilson tie one another up. That's the sort of physicality we're going to get this evening. An early pile driver, and umpire Woodcock calls for it again.
Jordan Bannister's got the job on Chad Corns. Corns is starting at half-back. Bannister playing as a forward, but his job will be to stop the run of Chad Corns.
Third man up, Kane Corns, tried to split the pack. Good work, Salopek receiving from Sean Burgoyne. Roden now going towards the wing, and it's very handily trapped by Peter Burgoyne, and he moves it on quickly. Mention the steal in the eye. They've started well. Salopek on the run from 50, long to the square. Cracker back in the side as well. Off hands, boundary throw in.
Good sign there for Peter Burgoyne. He would have been challenged by his coach over these last couple of weeks, and he's due. He's a champion player, and he's got to prove it.
Kate Simpson's got that role. There's a bit of pace in that matchup.
Port deep in attack. Lade with the hit out. Roden lurking dangerously. So Sean Burgoyne spinning out of heavy traffic. Snapping goal. And you might not see a better goal tonight. What a way to start for the Power. Well, they kicked just 2 goals in the second half, but Sean Burgoyne starting brightly tonight as Ackland's handball forward. Intercepted by Kane Corns. Pops it out onto the broadcast wing. Brother Burgoyne's doing well. Peter sends it forward. And it's over for a boundary throw in 45 around for the Power goal.
Yeah, poor positioning by that umpire. Is right in the way of 3 players leading forward. Challenge though for Carazzo after his big game last week with so many possessions. He's got to make sure that he stops Sean Burgoyne because he's a much more damaging player than him.
Well, Andrew Walker's actually going to him after the centre bounces, Jared.
Lade with a high ball to the hot spot. Tread raise there, Westhoff from behind. Ebert waiting down. He's been good recently against the Blues. And he snaps at goal and misses.
Well, that being the case, he's just got to make sure that he's got full responsibility for when he is in charge of Sean Burgoyne, which is apparently, looking at it, at the stoppages. He's got 1 goal. And that is not the right way to go if you've got a dual play going.
Houlihan in short. Simpson in the back pocket. Driving it up towards the wing. Saddington in front. Roden affects the spoil. Saddington recovers well. Carlton's first foray into attack might be chopped off by Thurstons. Symes tied up by Bannister, who was terrific down back on Brad Johnson in the second half last week, and he affects a bounce.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether the focus on the holding the ball from the MCG is as heightened here tonight, Clinton.
It was stunning in that third quarter earlier today as the Hawks were pinged on several occasions. We got your script, Jason. Hope that's what you wanted us. Here's Wade.
We have to delete a few words.
Good pickup. Handball to Houlihan. 45 out on the run.
Yeah.
Good looking snap. And it carries. Goal to the Blues. Ryan Houlihan had kicked 1 goal, 5 for the season. That snap was true. 1-point game. We had a thriller last Saturday night. What will be in store here and what's been an enthralling AFL year? Carazzo by hand to Walker, the delivery to White. Isn't this man in touch? A career best 25 possessions last week. And this is a good one for Bentic.
Great movement out of the middle there from the Blues. A couple of their more inexperienced players combining well. And a sensational kick inside that forward 50. That's let them down over the last year or so. The kicks into the forward 50. They've got to hit the targets.
Adam Bentic will turn 22 next week. He's kicking from just inside the 50. Has it got the carry? No. Off hands for a behind. The score's a level. Here's Rowan Smith.
Just at the start of the game, Port Adelaide are on top already in the midfield. One player that's playing down back for Carlton, Momes Heath Scotland, so he could go in the midfield at some stage as well.
Oh, curious kick in from Sean Burgoyne. White putting the pressure on. Hails the cat.
Look out.
He might get it. He will get it.
When you see the man in red circling like a great white shark, you know it's time to get the ball out.
Well, it was an interesting kick out because Daryl Wakeland wasn't far away from the ball, but he had his back to the play and didn't actually see it happening. So he couldn't get involved in the contest, and Pettigrew was caught holding the ball, hatching it like an egg. And it looks like a regulation goal now for Carlton, so a simple error from Port Adelaide.
Hasn't missed a game this season, has averaged a goal a game, Jared White, and that trend continues early. The Blues are in front. Jared White running up to the wing.
Warren Tredrea pushing very deep into defence, and Brett Thornton going all the way with him. First, Tredrea looking at the runner saying, is this where you want me? He's gone to half back.
Well, it's a rare experience for Thornton. He played his 100th game last week. His career goal total is 1.
I don't know that Warren's going to be thrilled about propping there either, trying to find a little bit of form.
Do you think, Jason, they may have had a plan that if they kick 2 goals in succession, will push the big man down just to block them up?
A little bit early to start blocking, I would have thought.
Murphy wrapped up by Salopek, and umpire Goldspink says you're gone.
Well, they've got the message this weekend, the umpires, haven't they?
Salopek away after courageous comeback last week from that broken nose. Kane Corns around the body to the wing. Here's a go for White. Kick well smothered by Saddington. Will get a boundary throw in.
I'm just not sure about that kick. If you can't, if the kick isn't long enough to get a mark, given that went about 12 metres, it wasn't. Just not sure why you'd even consider it.
13-7 Blues way. Ackland wanting the hit out, running onto it will be Walker, close to the line. He takes it over and will do it again. Horrible record at this ground. Carlton having lost 12 of their past 13 matches. Port at 10-10 here since the 2000 season. From the throw-in, Ackland, who came to blows with his teammate at training on Wednesday, Satana O'Halpin. As you heard from Dennis Pagan pre-game, he was happy. Curious handball from Peter Burgoyne. Umpire said it was legitimate. Salopek to Sean Burgoyne, now White in the middle. Port can build the run from defence, provided by Pettigrew. Steadies, wants the right, goes long. And the second gamer, Westhoff, couldn't take the mark. Whitnell.
Nice work from the captain.
Back to Whitnell. Ebert's got him. Whitnell gets the handball away. Westhoff had it knocked away. Blues will keep it in with Scotland. Now they're happy to run it out through Carazzo.
They don't mind assigning Bryce Gibbs with some big defensive jobs, do they? He's got the job on Brett Ebert, and he's a very dangerous player and an experienced player as well.
Yeah, but I reckon we've seen enough to know that he's capable of doing it.
White, deft little kick in the path of Daniel Pearce running forward. In fact, Peter Burgoyne's running forward to take the mark.
They look fired up tonight, the Burgoyne brothers. They look like they want to make a statement. They have both been down in recent times. Certainly Sean getting criticised for not working hard enough when he's being tagged out of the game, but both brothers have started well. Peter averaging 20 possessions a game this season from right on the 50, as you see there. He sends it out to the right, and it is through for 1 behind. 1-2 playing 2-1.
Such a structured game plan these days, football. It's just watching Warren Tredrea, he looks as if he's struggling to find the tempo of it. Just can't quite find a niche at the moment. Scotland with a fumble. The initial kick not 15. Puts Houlihan under pressure. Good work by Pearce. Locks it into the forward pocket. Very good work by Pearce. Boundary line would have been a good result in the end. Houlihan to Carazzo to Murphy. Good release. And the Blues can dart away. Murphy's got the leading for Vola. Well, straight through the fingertips there. Opens the door for Wakeland. He sends Port to Tredrea. Cute little kick to the pocket's a bad one. It's Whitnell. And they're the sorts of things that happen when you're really struggling. I mean, that kick out of gone another 2 metres. It hits Tredrea on the chest, and bang, he's got a chance at goal. Thornton releases Simpson. Walker. Target was Lappin, who booted 5 last week. Wiggins, good pickup. Lappin going without it. Smart. Recovery was nice. Back for Wiggins. Carlton running forward in numbers. Carazzo from 55 keeps it low for Vola. Quick hands. Mark Murphy a chance. The Blues have their third. Great excitement. You clearly wouldn't be happy, Jason, if you are the full forward like Tredrea. After a 2 or 3 goal run, you have to go to the other end. Surely. It's interesting in response now. Jared Waite's gone from centre-half forward for Carlton down to centre-half back to even up the numbers. Well, maybe just something to open up their forward line to push the numbers up, and they're maybe looking at using Cracker's pace into the paddock. Simpson to the hot spot. Chad Corns affects the spoil. Wakeland runs onto it. Now releasing out wide. Salopek, gee, did well. Got laid free. And kicks towards White. It's intercepted by Whitnell. Handball to Carazzo. Slips on the logo. Whitnell about to be under pressure. No one goes to him.
So he kicks towards half forward where Bannister marks, and from 50 goes long, and Lappin can try and mark it all shit in the end. Neither eventuates. It's a behind. Cassisi runs it out quickly. Taking the mark is Kane Corns.
And down on the boundary line, Rowan Smith, the Blues have made a ruck change.
Yeah, they certainly have. Santana Halpin's just come onto the ground, so who's going to just run around and be a roving ruckman?
Symes to the outer side.
Well, it always looked dangerous. Geez, I think they're on tonight, the Blues as well, Jason.
Favola wraps the kick around his body. Carazzo doesn't break stride and then spears it to Lappin, who marks on the 50.
And all of a sudden there's another full forward, small full forward. This bloke is creating some dramas.
Packed form, Pettigrew the spoil. Favola and Houlihan. Can he snap a second goal? He'll try. Oh, what a finish! Sensational goal from Houlihan. Kicked 21 goals against the Bulldogs last week. They've unloaded 4 in the opening quarter of an hour tonight. How will Port respond? Sean Burgoyne kicks forward. Nice pick up. Thurston's got it onto Symes beautifully. He delivers to the pocket, and at full stretch, Westhoff coming out takes the mark.
Good combination by a couple of youngsters for Port Adelaide. Outstanding kick.
Right there.
And a good mark. He's got a good set of hands and good balance as he approaches the marks, Jason.
He has. He looks very good. I don't know about the hairstyle. I'd love to have it, but don't have that option. It's a little bit retro. Most importantly, he looks a pretty good kick too.
Kicked 3 goals on debut last week. His first 2 kicks were goals. His first kick tonight is a behind, missing to the near side.
Don't know they're in a position to miss too many opportunities either, Port, because Carlton have come out with all guns blazing. One of the areas they're winning in at the moment is through the middle of the ground, which is what you would think was a strength for Port Adelaide.
Thornton to Scotland. From the outer wing goes short. On the bounce, O'Halpin, neat pick up. Good hands for Carazzo. Runs into Kane Corns and is caught high.
Dominic Cassisi has got the job in front of him. Matthew Lappin is just continuing to move. He's just on the go all the time. Cassisi's trying to play in front of him. He's too smart, Lappin.
Carazzo's kick lets him down. Salopek the mark. Oh, don't do this. They're going to do this tempo football. Are they going to slow it down?
Don't know. Well, I think they're just reacting to the fact that Carlton's got out of the blocks. The problem for Port Adelaide is that they don't have any particular system going forward. They're losing drives through the middle of the ground because you've got Chad Corns playing in defence. Jordan Bannister's done the job on him, and Corns has yet to have a touch.
Mark Williams sitting the Australian today. We spent time talking about that again, the tempo football. We haven't been a side who have practiced or advocated stopping the game. They did it last week ineffectively. They're doing it here. The Treadray kick is smothered. Will it come unstuck? The Blues will run it out for a boundary throw-in. Williams went on to say, I think Port Adelaide's probably been based on the fact that you've got a good old-fashioned fight to stop the game. But, unfortunately, you can't do that anymore.
Well, the kick to Treadray was a shocker as well, and that set him up. He's not quick enough, and here's Fisher pushing forward.
Oh, that's an unfortunate kick.
Yeah.
Brendan Favola, every time he's led for the footy, he's got a clear 5 metres on Darryl Wakeland. If they can find him some space, he'll dominate.
Burgoyne's off. Simpson brings him down. The ball held in a bounce.
You went.
No doubt he played on. That was the right decision. But he was given no opportunity. And that was harsh but fair.
Brogan the hit out. Wiggins forcing it magnificently to O'Halpin. There's the Irishman. Hard to a jigsaw Tanner. I tell you, career goal.
I wonder how long Port Adelaide can go with Chad Corns in defence, particularly if he hasn't touched the footy down there.
Bentick taking a break for the Blues after copping a bit of a knock. Port copping the knocks on the scoreboard. 23 points the margin. An explosion by a Carlton team that is playing an entertaining brand of football in recent weeks. They finally got through for a win last week. Is there more to come? Walker sends them inside 50. Treadray couldn't hang on. Lappin feverishly at it. This is Cassisi to Treadray to Pearce. Back to the running Cassisi. They're clear of the danger zone for the time being.
Push.
Hands in the back. Gray the free.
Geez, the runners are in the way at the moment. They're working overtime, both clubs. And they could be penalised. Look at this.
Robert Gray feeding it forward. Kane Corns with the mark. Port with the opening goal a minute in through Sean Burgoyne. Since then, all Carlton. Symes the mark.
Well, the Blues have got them all back. So he's
Fred
going to
Ray
have
off
to
for a
find
spell.
something.
Laid onto the ground.
You'd stick Wade in the goal square, wouldn't you? Simplify the game plan and just say, right, Adelaide's down there. If in trouble, get it in his direction. But that doesn't appear to be part of the coaching manual these days.
Well, at the moment, there's nothing to kick you up forward.
Short ball by
Good Gray.
Kuda, intercepted by Gray.
I like his approach on the football, Robert Gray. He really has a crack for him. The bloke just goes at it hard.
Gives it to Ebert,
That's the kick.
who fires long to the goal square. And
good mark.
standing tall, Westhoff.
Great man.
And he plays on and goals. Margin at 17 points. Oh, Sean Burgoyne barreled into by his teammate Wade. Not a man to be messed with, and Burgoyne may be hurt. Blackwell gets the handball away to Cade Simpson.
Brogan's loose in defence.
Kick wide for Wiggins. Good hands.
Kick.
Wiggins away. Kicks into the man running towards him. Good spoil. Pearce there with Peter Burgoyne. And we'll get about 60 metres out. Sean Burgoyne's waved the trainers away and will stay out there. There is Dean Brogan, the loose man filling the gap in the defensive 50 for Port. We've entered the time-on period of the opening term, and Kudafiti's handball ricochets away to Blackwell, who's been getting a bit of it late. He's pinged here for holding the ball.
Far out. That's nice.
Better?
Protesting. Far out, umpire. But as long as they're consistent. They've been hot on it all weekend. As long as they're consistent with that decision.
Peter Burgoyne to Wakeland.
So you didn't think they were consistent at the G today, Jason?
We'll get him fined by the end of the night.
Saying? You said you wanted a big game tonight. Think you're going to get it.
Wakeland wide. Thurston's had to wait. Spoiling was wait.
Good
Favola
stuff
to
from
help,
Favola,
and he wins a free. Thurston's lined him up indiscriminate. Advantage is paid, although Blackwell's got no one long, so he spears it low to Lappin.
On the line, John. On the line, John.
Now Favola's crept forward. His teammates are pointing, the crowd are roaring. Lappin elects to go, well, don't know why he was going there to Fisher. Port with numbers. Brogan, though, caught by Favola.
He just let it go.
Holding the ball. And Fev will get it anyway.
He just threw it out, did Dean Brogan. And Big Fev has got himself a goal for a great tackle.
He went to ground and never came out with a handball. Why don't you get rid of it? He called for a handball.
Well, I don't know where the prior opportunity was, though, because as soon as he picked the ball up, he was collared.
He was. Looked like a throw to me initially, but he may have just got a little slip of his fist on it. Lappin coming off the ground.
You see a lot of players actually just hold the ball under the one arm and accept the tackle and say, well, I never had prior opportunity. But when you release it, it looks like a throw.
Just one last week as he was held by Dale Morris. He gets his first tonight. Carlton with number 6. 2-3. Fev with his first. Carlton enjoying a 23-point lead as Lade prepares to collide with O'Halpin. Well, he won't get the chance. The bounce, not a good one. From umpire Goldspink, Kane Corns missed it out of mid-air, and the door opens for Russell.
Oh, poor kick.
Off the side of the boot. It's Slews wide to Thornton.
Had to keep the pressure on by bombing it in there, getting it in there quick, but they're fortunate because Thornton's picked up a free kick. How long do you keep Chad Corns running around chasing Jordan Bannister?
Well, we've said that from the start of the game.
Houlihan's wide ball. Will it land in the field of play? Touched on the line. We'll get a boundary throwing.
I don't know that Chad Corns, who is still yet to have a possession, he's not necessarily chasing Bannister around, but I think they tried to play him behind the ball and give some run out of defence. He's playing a stopping role as a half forward, Jordan Bannister, but doing a great job. They've got to put Chad Corns back on the ball.
Murphy. Thornton. One goal in his life. Still. Rowan Smith.
What Carlton are doing, they're just starving Port Adelaide of the footy, especially in the midfield. When Port Adelaide get the ball in their back line, they've just got no one to kick to at the moment.
Gee, that's a tough selection.
Here's Russell with the steal. Fisher got to get rid of it. Port diving on it. Kane Corns wins a free. Advantage play on. Surgeon goes. Oh, and the handball's a poor one to Pearce. Made him work. He was equal to it. Got it to Salopek. Back for the running Pearce. Long ball inside 50. Roden the target. With support. Sean Burgoyne clever. Roden. Centering ball on the lead. Gray.
Gee, they're a good pair of hands, aren't they?
Yeah. Just his second game as well, like Westhoff, making his debut last week, and the 18-year-old out of East Burwood in Melbourne suburbs The East takes the mark.
It's quite amazing the responsibility they're putting on the young players. I mean, they're 6 goals to 2 down, Port Adelaide, and on the bench they've got Treadray, Peter Burgoyne and Brett Ebert. That's extraordinary.
Looking for his first senior goal. Robert Gray, the 55th pick in last year's national draft, will kick from just inside the 50, and it's a beauty. Port get their third.
To the ground.
Can he get his hands on the footy here? Well, he can. Does he get a possession away? Maybe a handball. Kane Corns with the tackle will get another bounce.
So what's changed down back? Waite's still at centre-half forward with Pettigrew.
And now that he's on the ball, Chad Corns, he's trying to go to Kuda. You've got a loose player in distance.
Big Tobias, he's got loose. And he's a mobile loose player, so that'll mean there'll be an extra player up at this contest for the Blues. And if it's Heath Scotland,
that's not a win for Port Adelaide, is it?
You don't want the ball in his hand because it'll go straight on the chest, lace out. The Sharon will put an imprint on Fev's chest.
And he's letting everyone know that he's loose too.
There are some names on that Port bench right now. Treadray, Peter Burgoyne and Ebert as Scotland is dragged down, and we'll get another bounce in the middle.
In actual fact, just as that stoppage was happening, Scotland went to Burgoyne to try and release Walker running forward of the ball.
Lade says, look, let's just smash it out of here and see what happens. Well, Carlton will run onto it with Walker. Whitnell supporting act for him. Kicking to midfield, O'Halpin. They've got the breakaway. O'Halpin with the long ball to Fisher.
Please, back here now. Back here, please. That's all.
He's going to hit it to the hot spot. Ackland from behind Brogan, the spoil.
Well done, Salopek. Read it well.
Oh, and Ackland has just thrown Wilson away. That was crude. It wins a free for Port.
Luckily, because there's a turnover on the wing.
He's gone downfield. Let it go now. Let it go. You got the free. Michael?
Well, I guess at least he was taking it out on an opposition player now.
No, and that's probably the reason.
Well, the umpire in control hasn't told the upfield umpire what to do because he doesn't know whether it's a downfield free kick or what it is. He's going over to have a chat.
Have a look at this on Wilson. No, just missed it. That was what it was for. So the downfield free will go to Port. Pearce has it.
And now every Carlton player is behind the ball.
It's interesting that they're all within 60 metres of this kid, so he does what most creative players do, finds a way forward, but the kick let him down.
And the Blues will bang it back through Bannister with a thumping bomb to a 1-on-3. An easy one for Thurstons to knock down. Russell brought down. Kane Corns the tackle. No chance. Yep. Love chat out there tonight. Another look at how it happened. Angry man, Kane Ackland from Coffin Bay near Port Lincoln. Port affect the clearance. Wilson. Long ball to Treadray and Thornton. Was he held? No. Port fans say yes. Not getting the breaks of the game at the moment is Treadray. Carazzo to Scotland.
He's got to find another gear, does Warren Treadray. Intensity just not at the level we're used to seeing from the champion Port Adelaide player.
Good mark from Symes. It's game number 199 tonight for Treadray, so he's scheduled 200th next Sunday night at Amy Stadium against Essendon on Sunday Night Football. Here's Roden.
Thanks, Brendan.
Final 2 minutes of the opening term. The Blues leading by 3 goals.
If they could get a late goal, Port Adelaide, I think they'd take it as a huge win, but that's not going to come from that kick.
Gee, their switches haven't been on tonight. Great pressure from Jared Waite. It deserves a finish.
Caught that.
It gets it. His second, a beauty.
Well, I was about to say if they could kick a late goal, Port Adelaide, and go in 2 goals down, they'd take that as a huge win the way the first quarter's been played out. But the kick from Roden across goals was a bit of a shank. Jared Waite, a terrific contest here, and the important thing that he does after it comes back is he keeps his feet. As Wilson goes to ground, then another player comes in. There's only one man standing on his feet. That's Jared Waite. Controls the ball, runs into an open goal.
He's just gone up a notch or two, Jared Waite, isn't he?
Yep.
The finishing touches on an impressive goal. He kicked 3 last week with those 25 possessions. He has 2 in the first quarter here. And now the final 90 seconds are crucial. Port can't give up another one. Free kick, chopping the arms Port Adelaide's way. It's Carlton's second best ever first quarter against Port Adelaide. Remembering, though, they've beaten them just 3 times from their 15 meetings since the Power debuted in '97. Roden going wide. White is the target. Saddington helps it over for a throw-in.
And that's good defence from Carlton, forcing the leads wide to the pockets and the flanks. That's where they want Port Adelaide having their shots from goal if they are able to take a mark.
Well, Rowan Smith spoke to Matt Primus prior to the match, and we asked, that was a free kick, a push out, but here comes Roden.
Breaking tackles at will.
That's good.
And driving through a wonderful goal, David Roden.
That's just a brilliant individual effort.
It was a good tap. I thought
his national draft feels like he has to prove himself again, and Roden is doing so for Port this season. Now, can they get 2 in the final minute? Not quite. The bounce of the ball going Murphy's way. Good chase from White, didn't relent. The kick from Murphy to the wing for Ackland, who's got 40 seconds. The margin is 3 goals. Ackland's got a man on at half forward. It's Wiggins. Turns around. Is this number 8 for Carlton? He centres it to the top of the square. Oh, Jared Waite again.
Change has got to be made there. He's just, I've got too many tricks, I think, for Pettigrew.
Now, Fev doesn't want to give it away here.
Easy, easy. I'm going to pay 50.
It's a 50-metre penalty.
Stick your nose in, all right? Out.
Umpire Goldspeak back to his best as Darren Waite's going to get his 3rd goal. Fantastic opening quarter for this impressive young blue.
Just be careful.
Carlton have 8. Waite with 3.
Well, I think he's missed it, has Goldie. He's back to his best, though. Good mark from Jared White.
He was looking for the body, Pettigrew, and Waite just sidestepped him and flew for the ball.
Too many tricks, and Fev, well, he's flown the flag. Last time he did that, there was a melee and 30 blokes got fined.
And he was only 20 seconds or so away from a quarter-time siren.
From memory, Clinton, you wanted him to pay the lot.
Yeah, he should have. He started it. 8-3, 4-3.
8 goals in the first quarter. That's amazing.
They are on fire, this Carlton team. Is there more to come? Russell to Scotland. They've got 15 seconds. Can they mark this ball?
Look out.
It's Wade again. Well, he's trying to be creative. Bentic is there, tying up Pettigrew. We'll get a bounce with 4 seconds to go.
You know, Jason, sometimes individuals come into your club and have an amazing effect on the spirit. I don't know, but I've just got a feeling Satantaro Halpin may be one of those individuals. Carlos, they call him. He just may have brought something magical from Ireland.
The spirit of Carlton. Free kick for a hold. Which way? Port Adelaide's way, I fancy, because there's no urgency. Now there's urgency. Simpson and Brogan. How long till Favola? Hang on, is he coming? He's thinking about it.
Where's Satanta?
No, Fev jogs away. Look at Brogan. He's going berserk.
Well, he's been to anger management courses, I think, over the last 12 months.
He might have to go back there.
I don't think it's worked.
Good on Dean Brogan. Port Adelaide need a bit of firing up. They've been ordinary in this first quarter. They've been bullied by the Blues, and they haven't bullied too many in recent years.
And their physicality has been questioned this week in Adelaide. So they're keen to make a statement. But it's the Blues on the scoreboard at quarter time making the most telling impact. They've got a 4-goal lead. Oh.
Extraordinary too. Chad Corns, no possessions in the first quarter here.
It's one of those nights. We've got something unfolding. There's something brewing at the dive. Best you stay with us on Saturday Night Football. Carlton 8-3, Port 4-3 at quarter time. 8-3-51, the Blues. Port 4-3-27. The margin, 4 goals at quarter time. Waite with 3, Houlihan with a couple. None better than the one of Satantaro Halpin in that opening term. Andrew Caruso getting plenty of the footy. Had a career best 37 touches against Daniel Cross of the Dogs last week. 10 to quarter time. All single goal kickers for Port. Westhoff, Sean Burgoyne, Roden and Gray. Overall, Carlton with 91 touches. Port Adelaide with 72 possessions for the opening quarter of football. The inside 50s, the Blues 16, the Power 10. Aside from that, fairly even. As we go down to Rowan Smith with Carlton assistant coach Gavin Krasiska.
Well, Gavin, an 8-goal first quarter, not a bad start.
Look, we pride ourselves on our starts and obviously our quick scoring. We did that quite well. Let Port in on a couple of easy ones, but look, the boys did well to start with, yeah.
And the boys were pretty pumped up right from the start.
Yeah, look, it's hard to match what the boys like before the game, but look, they come out firing, and it was a good start, and we're pleased with it.
Good luck in the second quarter.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you, Rowan. Brendan Favaldo, 1 goal last week, a goal early here this evening in the opening term. 8 goals, as I mentioned earlier, their second best opening term against Port Adelaide.
Some big worries for Port. I mean, I guess people are getting sick of us hearing talk about Chad Corns, but the fact is he hasn't touched the pill, and if Port Adelaide are going to be in this contest, he has to get a lot more of it. And I mean a lot of football the next 3 quarters. Peter Burgoyne started well, but then just kept to 4 touches. He needs to get a lot more of the footy. It's some of their big guns. Treadray, just 1 kick and 1 hand pass, and that kick was smothered. They've got all their stars basically being well held, Port Adelaide, Jared.
They have, and they just desperately need to get a little bit of the energy that is on display in the opposition camp at the moment, because right from the captain down, there's too many holes in their players collectively. From an energy level, they're just not chasing with the same vigour collectively. There's a few individuals doing it, but if they don't match the Blues in that department, they're going to get blown away. Need to really turn around here.
Off we go for quarter number 2. Laid the hit out Walker. The gather and the quick hands in the path of Simpson, who does well to batter it forward, soccer it on, get it inside 50. Sean Burgoyne, good running. Fed it out to Symes, and now Kane Corns, who had it 7 times in the opening stanza for Port. Driving to half forward. Easy one there for Saddington to pick off and spoil down. Kasisi the pickup. Kane Corns has got Peter Burgoyne. Now, elects to just chip it forward for Lade, who's floated forward. Is he winning a free? No.
He got dragged down. It had to be.
Play on is the call.
And that's his go. Take the ruck, go forward. He's their best tall forward at the present time, but he's playing in the midfield.
White's handball intercepted by Scotland, who gets a stack of it each week. This kick rolls for the boundary line. And a lot of Port fans asking, well, was this a free to Brendan Lowe?
Looked like he got dragged down from my eyes. Wonder if Treadray couldn't have a bit of a run on the ball as well, just to get the legs going, Jason.
I think that might be a last resort. If that happens, Jared, they're in real trouble.
Very short boundary throw-in laid to Chad Corns. His first kick of the night towards the teeth of goal. Whitnell the spoil. Gibbs is going to run it out for a boundary throw-in.
Well, that's a great sign. Gibbs didn't try and just handball the ball through the points, which is one of the great blights on the game as we speak. Tried to get it away.
Laid. Peter Burgoyne caught by Simpson. What a big tackle that was. Potentially a goal-saving tackle. Bentic received from Whitnell. Goes to Saddington. Carlton break free. Wiggins on the outer side. Symes the spoil. Here's Salopek in support. Symes and Salopek. Great tandem work there, the two of them. Now Kane Corns needs help. Bentic wraps him up. Got the handball away. Carazzo pursued by White for Houlihan.
Just brilliant play by the Blues. They gang tackled their way into a turnover.
Carazzo. Handball for Walker. Driving it long. Lappin and Wilson. Lappin tries to mark from behind. Wilson, quick hands. Thurston's now Wakeland. And Surgeon can clear.
I reckon Mark Williams will be a little bit concerned at how desperate his midfielders are running defensively.
Oh, look at this.
Because he's leaving their defenders exposed one out rather than having extra numbers back there.
Chad Corns, thumping kick. Wiggins in front of Salopek. Houlihan, good work. Wiggins. Ackland, the centering target, but it's intercepted by Lade. First goal of the quarter going to be crucial here. Port with some run now. Surgeon can keep going. Drops it up to the 50, and Salopek acrobatically marks and is within goal-scoring range.
It was a clever kick in the end. There were no obvious leads coming from deep forward, and he had to thread the needle to the short pass. Salopek just moving into a little hole. It's a good kick, but a worrying sign for Port that none of their forwards are presenting into good positions.
Salopek with 5 goals, 3 this season. Had a personal best 31 touches in last year's meeting against the Blues, which Port won by nearly 6 goals here. Back in round 10, he's directly in front. And he's pushing it out to the right-hand side. First score of quarter number 2 behind with the power.
Low percentage spot to have a shot. And I guess it validates your point, Jason, about a stagnant forward line. If they get on the move to open up space as much as anything.
Houlihan wide.
get those shots in deeper.
I think the other thing we're seeing is they've lost a little bit of confidence in kicking it to Treadray as well.
Good run by Russell. The kick from Simpson was kind. Russell closes to 60. Long towards Favola. Couldn't hang on, kept his footing. Pettigrew brought down by Waite. Kane Corns caught high, must be a free.
Now, just that work there by Brendan Lade has saved them a goal, and he's showing the smaller midfielders that if they're going to get back into this side, they're going to have to work hard both ways. He was gone there, Darryl Wakeland. If it hadn't have been for Lade coming back, Favola had that one.
Short ball by Wilson. Symes from half-back, near the boundary line. Good hand, Salopek, right in front of you, Rowan Smith.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lance Whitner looks so much more comfortable playing down back, and he sets Carlton up really well.
There is Big Red. There's Treadray with the footy on the wing, goes barely the required 15.
Where does the next kick go, though? That's the problem.
And that had to be 9 metres.
Cassisi, short. That went 22. The cuts of the grass are 10 metres in length here at the Dome to help the umpires out.
Well, the only other tall target's Warren Treadray, who's up around the 50, or he's got... Oh, look at this.
Out on the full.
But that's indicative of the way they're playing, because they don't have any focus to go to up forward. They're just making up as they go along, looking for short passes wide. They're being forced wide by the Blues.
Gibbs sends it out wide. Ackland. And who played 12 games in 4 years at the Power before he made his way to Moorabbin. Ball to midfield. Simpson paddling it on. Brought down illegally.
And there's 2 bad errors by Peter Burgoyne. He dropped the simple mark, which would have been a good turnover and an attacking opportunity for Port. And then he gives away the free kick.
And the Blues take them on. Simpson goes inside 50. Here's Chad Corns with his first mark for the night.
And I guess the third error is he allows the player to play on.
Yeah.
So that's not a great passage of play from a senior player, is it?
Cassisi on half-back. Still awaiting our first goal of this second quarter. Been playing 6 minutes. Kane Corns will switch back to his brother.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Steve.
Chad Corns. Wide for Lade.
A switch like that's okay if there's someone breaking into space on the other side of the ground, but there really isn't.
Short ball to midfield. Salopek getting a bit of it tonight. This will be 12 possessions. Equal leader for Port with Kane Corns. Treadray, a little awkward one for him.
To his credit, though, Clinton, Warren Treadray has worked from the far side of the ground to get to that contest. He's run about 75 metres, and it's just a poor kick that's missed him. So the work ethic was terrific. Just needs better service.
Ackland to Simpson. Up for Carazzo. In front of the Blues faithful on the outer wing. Enjoying things now there. A handful of members short of an all-time record this year, Carlton. Symes flings it out for Thurstons. Now Wilson. Pearce. Slips away. Short ball, effective for Cassisi. Where's the support? Scotland is there. It's coming back.
Well, Daniel Pearce's left foot can get Port Adelaide back into this game, because when he goes, he just creates flow. He moves it quickly and he pinpoints passes.
Great run from Kane Corns. Kick on its way. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Robert Gray needs support.
Says he didn't have the vision, though. Kane Corns had his hands in the air.
Gibbs to Carazzo. And the Blues escape again. Whitnall for Walker. To half-back, and Ackland is doing some running tonight.
He is. He's really working hard, which is exactly what he needs to do if he's going to survive in this game.
Scotland to the wing. Russell in space again.
Fev's.
Oh, Mark Murphy short would have been good.
Fev, can he take it on the bounce? He can. Gives it off to Bannister, but Wakeland does well to intercept. Read the situation brilliantly. Chad Corns to Pettigrew. Gotta go. Show some spark, Port Adelaide. Pettigrew to Cassisi. Caught by Bentic. Got it to Kane Corns. Kicking out wide. Good ball. Surgeon now. Can he hit a target inside 50? Treadray doubles back.
Just some signs here for Port Adelaide, but got to get some goals.
Kane Corns will drive it inside 50. Can they get a pack mark? Brogan is down there. Saddington leaps, can't hang on. Ebert.
Dragged it in.
Play on the call. Scotland caught by Treadray. Good tackle by the big man. Still Carlton go. And Gibbs squeezes it only as far as Surgeon. Should get it in there. Loose men out wide, including Pearce.
Left foot.
Have a shot. He might. He picked up the 3 Brownlow votes in the match last year against the Blues. Has been averaging 19 possessions a game this season. 9 goals, 4 alongside of his name. Club needs him to deliver a goal. Close. Blues help it over for a behind.
Well, they've stopped some of the onslaught, Port Adelaide, but the fact is we've had 9.5 minutes of the quarter and we're yet to see a goal in the second term.
22 points the split. Houlihan out to half-back and Walker. For Wake.
You'll be pleased to know, Jason, that Chad Corns has now had 5 possessions.
Here's for Vola.
And his brother Kane has had a stack of it. He's up to 15. He's working hard, but they're just not getting the hands into their key forwards, the ball into their key forwards' hands, like this man.
What about Fed when he's marked that ball? He's marked it on the edge of the square and virtually put the cue on the rack and said, I'll take my time, go back, because I'm only 60 out, and this is just a stab pass. He's going to launch it from 4 or 5 metres inside the centre square.
Confident is not something that he's short of. And with good reason.
Look at the celebration.
There's Libber in the foreground. His parents are here still supporting him as an assistant coach. Saw them earlier in the night.
Supporting the Blues then now.
I imagine so. Or supporting Libber. Wherever he goes, they go.
Their support will follow.
And you've got a Blue who's been felled behind play.
Salopek driving the ball towards half forward for Port. This is Burgoyne. Peter going to Cassisi.
Well, Blackwell was the player behind play that's now picked himself up and he's jogging back into play, although he's still holding the face.
Oh, Cassisi, not a lot of confidence in the goal kicking there. Has Kane Corns on a tightish angle.
They just need a steady kick here from Kane Corns. He had an opportunity a few minutes ago, but his kick from 40 metres or so on the run actually fell short. Just put in a little stab. They've had a couple of opportunities, Port Adelaide, but that's the way things go against the run of play. The ball goes down the other end. You get a 60-metre bomb from Fev, and they're in deep trouble.
He said pre-season he wants to kick more goals this year, Kane Corns. Well, he's only kicked 2 goals, 5 thus far. And he cannot arrest the situation as he misses to the near side. Rowan Smith at ground level.
What Carlton are doing is they're rotating runners on Kane Corns. They know he's going to get the footy, but they know he's not going to man up either. And Houlihan started on him and he's kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, so they're trying to get off Kane Corns.
Hold it there. Play on.
Inside 50s for the quarter. Port 8, Carlton 5. But the Blues have kicked the only goal, and Fisher is marking impressively on the wing. The kick might let him down. Salopek doubling back into the pack. Oh, have a look at that. Some Harlem Globetrotter stuff from David Roden. Takes off with the speed as well. That is great play. Pearce now steadies from 45. Kicks across the face. And it's into the behind post on the half volley. We'll get a boundary throw-in.
Well, his left foot could have got them back into this game, but it's costing them because there's 2 opportunities now.
That was how Blackwell went down. Sorry, Jared.
Yeah, sure.
Accidental knock from Brogan. So 9 minutes from half-time. Port pressing, needs something. Blues, will they concede a behind? Not yet. Simpson. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. And Westhoff, she's a rangy type of body, and he just stretched up beautifully there to take the mark.
There's a lot to like about this young fellow, Justin Westhoff. He handles himself well. He reads the play. He left his opponent and actually went to where the kick was being squared up to, because it was Lance Whitnell leading out wide. He left him, saw the kick coming inboard to Heath Scotland and chopped it off.
He looks like a house with just the frame up at the present time, doesn't he? When he gets in the gym for a couple of years, there's going to be a little bit of cladding put on that front.
Nice analogy.
199 centimetres, 89 kilograms. Is he getting his second goal? Kick into the post. So they've had some chances here in the second term, but 4 behinds without a goal.
Played a much better quarter, in fact, Clinton, but then you just still got to put the score on the board.
They've had 4 or 5 shots from 40, 45 metres that haven't made the distance. There's just not a lot of conviction in the kicking from Port Adelaide.
Blues affect the switch. Houlihan. Out wide, running it down is Gibbs. Rising star nomination at last. 17 touches against the Dogs last week. Carazzo with 37. And having plenty of it tonight. 15 possessions now. A long kick to the wing to a pack. Ackland's going to fly. Waiting down Wiggins. For Murphy. Fisher stalked by a couple. They don't turn it over yet. Wiggins to Murphy. Got away. Russell the mark.
And that's the kick you want. You want to get into the middle of the ground so they can then charge up and hit up a target up forward.
Lappin from 60. Thumping ball for White. Good spoil, Thurston's.
Jesus, quick on his feet.
It's out. Throw in Rowan Smith.
Luke Blackwell, as we speak, is putting an ice pack on his eye, so it looks like he's got a bit of a boxer's eye, trying to keep the swelling down.
He's a bit like Buddy Franklin, in fact, or Jared Waite. Jason, he's just so quick and tall that he's difficult to match up on.
Yep, Thurston struggling to stay with him.
Wilson running it out. Lappin keeping it in. From the 50. Centering ball, hitting the top of the square.
Well
Brogan with courage going back into the unknown. And then seeks the safety of the behind line.
Like Dean Brogan, I think he's made a statement. He's trying to lead his team.
Salopek, bounce, touches it again. Burgoyne short. Westhoff down the ground.
Wilson's run hard.
And receives. Now, he's got Chad Corns at full forward. Can't mark, and he throws his opponent Murphy out of it illegally.
He's paid a push out, I think.
Well, there's 50 against Chad Corns, because I think he dropped the big expletive there. He's filthy with the decision, and you can hear the umpire there saying keep going, because he'll pay another one.
It looked a genuine attempt, as we see one of our own at Fox Sports, David Parkin, in the crowd looking at the Blues development.
Murphy towards the wing. Port with numbers. Sean Burgoyne, nice knock on to Surgeon. Now Pearce. Floats the handball back to Peter Burgoyne. Oh, risky. Scotland knocking it away. Pettigrew might have saved the day there. Now wraps Scotland up and affects a bounce in the middle.
Made some bad mistakes tonight, Peter Burgoyne. They were away if he hits the target there, but it was a very poor kick that, if the interception had been clean, could have cost Port Adelaide a goal.
Just getting back to the Chad Corns jump. Looked a legitimate jump from Mark DeMeade. And he was penalised for pushing him out from line.
Roden the knock on. Blues will get their Walker. Running.
He's just sneaking up on the competition, Andrew Walker.
Yep.
Each year he's getting 10% better. He's a good player now.
Fourth senior year. Here's Russell kicking deep to full forward. Fisher had it knocked away, but look at his recovery. It was pretty impressive, eh? (10-4 to 4-7) as Brad Fisher joins the party. Who is going to stand tall for Port Adelaide? 5.5 minutes from half-time. Simpson, claimed by Peter Burgoyne, perhaps questionably, but we'll get a bounce.
One of the things we're going to see come out of tonight's match too, Clinton, is the fact that question marks are starting to grow over Warren Treadray. He's sitting on the bench again. He's had just 3 possessions, no scores, and no impact whatsoever for Port Adelaide.
I'll pose the question about his 200th next week to you in the last quarter, Jason, as Chad Corns breaks clear. Well, they needed a spark, and it's Chad Corns who delivers it. 27 points, the deficit once more.
Same matchup. This Satanta, Kate Simpson, top of screen, sorry, right of screen.
Brogan, good hit out. Chad Corns was just about away. Couldn't pick it up. There's a free for a hold going Carlton's way. Advantage play on.
In fact, it may have been Jordan Bannister, so apologies to Kate.
Walker driving it deep. Lappin's got to beat a couple. Wakeland peeled off for Vola nicely. In
fact, it was Jordan Bannister, and he's still with him.
Wakeland the handball wide. About to be in some trouble, Symes. Little 360 back for the veteran Wakeland in game number 256 tonight.
And it's not the direction they want to be kicking the football, Port Adelaide, getting themselves deeper in trouble and very stagnant ahead.
Pearce.
Here's the switch. Now they've got an open half of the ground to lead into.
And Surgeon will go that way. Thurston's will go that way. Symes goes to Thurston, so he can take off. Although
well, he should have taken off, Clinton.
Yeah, he's anticipating that. And he just holds it up, goes short for White. There are the marks tonight. Port with 14 more, make it 15 more as they slowly progress up this labour-intensive build-up. There's Treadray, lead turned down, Cracker with the footy.
Ebert versus Gibbs in the goal square. They're the only two in the 450 for Port.
Play on is the call. Cracker now will go.
Beating everybody.
Still going.
How far?
Kicks long. Carlton getting a man back. Scotland can't mark. Can Port squeeze it out? They won't. A bounce. He had a broken nose last week, did Stephen Salopek. May have not entirely mended. Brogan got a hand to it. Waiting in the wings. Chad Corns caught by Bannister. Good tackle. A bounce again. We're in time on of second quarter.
What do you think about Chad Corns in the goal square by himself, Jason?
I wouldn't mind it, provided there's enough ball going there and that the Port Adelaide mindset is to kick the ball in long and quick, but they're not doing that.
Well, this is a scrum. Fiji and Australia tonight in the rugby union at Subiaco. Shades of that right here. Speaking of Fijian, David Roden, his uncle, former Fijian Olympian. And the 100 dash. Carazzo near the boundary line. Now they're a chance. Can Roden gather it? Still going. This is a real ugly pack right now. 2:50 from half time. The margin is 27. It was 24 at quarter time. Carazzo, Saddington, Kuda, Scotland.
And Simpson's the man who's broken hard, but he didn't trust him.
And a boundary throw-in will result.
He went for the torpedo on the run then, Heath Scotland. Kicked among. Knew he didn't have anything. He wanted to kick it long to space, and I think he was very happy when he found the boundary line.
Can Port generate some momentum going to half-time? Halpin with 2 goes at the hit-out. Pearce. The run of Symes was nice. Kick is long. Ebert a big show. Who's at the back of the pack? Scotland recovering. Oh, lost it. Treadray and Thornton. Test of strength. Big man Treadray forcing his way through a bounce in the goal square.
Oh, he's a little bit upset, Warren Treadray.
Well, he's got to get upset.
Yep.
He's got to get upset, and he's got to start imposing himself on this contest. I mean, it's not just his glove that's at stake here. He's really struggling, and he's got to find some footy.
Carlton can be behind. 5-8 plays, 10-4. Final 2 minutes of the first half. The goals drying up in the second quarter. Scotland long ball. Gibbs. The knock-on was superb. Port looked like they'd have it. Ebert, though, gets in the back of Gibbs.
Oh, gee, it's hard when you've chased someone that far and you finally catch them. Momentum's always going to take you forward. You've got to try and turn them onto the side as you go forward with them. Unfortunately, Ebert couldn't do that.
A 2-1 quarter in favour of the Blues.
He was off.
He was off.
It cost Port Adelaide in the first quarter, and that was the same.
Ball a hand to Walker. Bentic. From 65. Long towards Fisher. Favola there as well. Fisher dragged out of it. Cassisi heads for the boundary line.
Is that deliberate?
Yes,
it is.
And Favola is
he's a chance.
just happening to be in the location.
Don't bother leading.
That was 30 metres off the ground. That was harsh.
Let's listen in.
He can go back and then follow the fence around if he wants to have a longer run-up. He doesn't have to shorten his run-up there.
Is a chance, Jason?
Not off a short run-up, I don't think.
It'll land 10 metres out. And here's at the back Walker. Just what Port did not need. A Carlton goal from Walker a minute from half-time. Heartbreaker for Port. 32 points, their deficit a minute from half-time. Laid the hit out, Bentic. Chad Corns. Who will get the late centre clearance? Roden again, good pickup. Gee, such a hard man to tackle. Cracker, back for Roden. Slick hands to Pearce, dropped it. Russell under the pump. Got it wide in the way. Chad Corns goes to ground. So does Pearce. Play on the call. Now a bounce.
Chad Corns filthy. He was taken high. No free kick. And I think David Roden also was, Sean Burgoyne it was, taken high.
They've had just 7 free kicks for the first half, Port. It was 29-25 earlier today at the MCG. 54 in the match between the Hawks and the Swans as Scotland goes wide and Lappin. Nice mark. The Blues here have had 10.
Looks dangerous, Matthew Lappin again, Jason.
Yeah, it looks like he's enjoying his footy too.
31 years young, kicking towards Fisher. Pettigrew knocking it down. Bentic is there. And here's a late go. Simpson on the run. 10 seconds from half-time. And he misses.
Yeah, it's a little poke.
Could have been the nail in the coffin, that one.
Just about.
That should do us for scoring here in the second quarter as Brogan patrols the boundary line. 11-5, playing 5 goals 8. Thurston's just has to avoid turning it over, and White is there to take the mark, and that's half-time. And the Blues fans are pretty happy. 24 up at quarter time. At the long break, the lead is 33.
Well, just looking at the two sides, Jason, I think it was an even money bet coming into this match, but the Blues have been determined to make ground when they've got the ball, to run, to carry, to get it in there quickly. They've honoured their forwards' leads, and we haven't seen that sort of momentum for Port. They've got to find a different way home over this half-time break, or the Blues are going to give them a belting.
Come back and talk more about it. 11-5 to 5-8 at half-time. Port in danger of losing 4 in a row. Rowan Smith is watching on at ground level.
Well, we can certainly see, Clinton, that why Carlton are the second highest scoring team in the AFL at the moment. They've kicked 11 goals in that first half. Port Adelaide have to get the skates on in this second half to certainly catch the boys. When they're going forward, they're very, very efficient. So Port Adelaide are going to have to get a move on, boys.
That they will have to do. And one thing that surprised me, Jason, is that they haven't really dominated clearances. Given their total domination in name in the rucks, Slade and Brogan, versus the two more inexperienced Blues players, they should have had, I guess, a greater servage.
Absolutely, but I think we've got to give credit to Carazzo, Murphy, Halpin and Ackland for the work they've done in the middle of the ground.
Third quarter underway, power to the right, and it's this man Roden who's such a live wire, kicking inside 50, and it could be the perfect start if Robert Gray can convert from 45 metres out.
And ironically, it was Satano Halpin who actually took a clear tap from there, went to a Port Adelaide player, and they did the reverse.
We saw Robert Gray kick one early from a very similar position. He only just made the distance, so he's not an overly long kick of the football, but he has a beautiful pair of hands, and I like the way he attacked the footy then.
He could not script a start to a half better for Port than if Gray can kick this goal. And he has missed. Brogan warming up on the boundary line.
It's dogged them a few times this year, certainly last week. They're kicking for goal at crucial times, let them down, and they cannot afford to miss any opportunities, let alone regulation shots like that.
Well, Saddington's worked pretty hard, and he's free on the wing, but well covered by Sean Burgoyne.
They were 2-9 in the second half last week, finished with 10-15 in the loss to the Hawks. They're at 5 goals 9 now as Saddington marks on half-back. Now, invited to play on, kicking to the wing. Walker with a big leap from the front spot, waiting down Wiggins, had it prized clear. Fisher lost it, Lade's quick hands. Blues weighted numbers win out. Russell has done some good things tonight. Peter Burgoyne, though, intercepts his kick in front of Simpson.
Just 7 touches in the first half for Peter Burgoyne. No score on the board either, so he needs a big lift in the second half.
He would have got 3 of those in the first 3 minutes.
Yep, he averages 20 per game. Daniel Pearce breaks the line, runs to 50, kicks long, and misses as well to the right-hand side.
Gee, they've struggled with penetration on their kicks tonight. So many running shots from inside 50 that haven't made the journey.
71-40 as Gibbs goes short. Houlihan marks. He kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. Waite with 3 in the opening term. This is Saddington from half-back going short. Thornton marks with about 15 centimetres to spare from the boundary line. That was all. Centres it for Mark Murphy. Oh, dangerous one for Walker. Has to backpedal quickly. He's equal to it, although Russell fumbles. Roden's got it. Port should get something this time. Question of accuracy. Peter Burgoyne, though, is going to chip it. Well, where's he chipping?
A dreadful kick of the football. He had Robert Gray in space. I've got no problem with the option. If he didn't want to kick the shot on the run, he could chip it to Gray, but he just missed him by 10 metres.
He did. It was brilliant play by Bryce Gibbs, though. He knew the angles and he outread him.
A player on confidence would have run to 40 with a shot at goal, elected not to. And now Carlton whisk it forward to Scotland, who marks 60 metres from home. And the Blues could be a big show. Whitnall on the lead, got hands in the back, and will take the shot at goal. And how often do you see that happen? A miss at one end, translate into a goal at the other.
I think when Michael Pettigrew has a look at the replay on the big screen, and he's looking up there now, you'll see hands in the back. This is the option from Burgoyne, and look, Gray's to the left of screen, a long way away from where the kick went. Here's the lead from Whitnall, and it didn't look to be a lot there on the replay, did it? I don't know. If he did put a hand in the bag, he might have been a bit stiff.
Whitnall makes them pay.
There it is.
Big lead now. Umpire making the correct decision based on the new rule.
Yes,
yep.
which
technically
I just
correct,
so don't like.
Okay.
But why don't they pay those in ruck contests?
Or elsewhere around the ground.
Yes.
Laid, hit out, stolen by Bannister. Handball to Mark Murphy. Good vision. Kick was sublime. Wiggins.
Once again, a clearance.
Favola double back into the hot spot.
At the back.
Wilson turnover. Wait. Oh, he didn't mean it, but he's got it anyway. Goal number 4, remarkable. And Port, having had a couple of shots at goal, get nothing. And the Blues get 2, and they're more than double their score now. And for virtually a decade of misery that Port have heaped on the Blues.
This is good Santana.
They're enjoying this. Bannister to Walker. Goes along to the square. Favola in front, off hands. Wilson keeps it in. For Whitnall put the pressure on. Here's Sean Burgoyne. Now Salopek. Goes to Peter Burgoyne. Gee, boldly plays on. Simpson brought him down. Kane Corns kicks inside 50, but Thornton's in front of Treadray.
Well, it was a nothing kick around the corner of one step. Gave Treadray no chance.
They're running hard, the Blues.
Well, they've got a sniff as the mark is paid.
Got to really work hard here, Port Adelaide, or the floodgates are going to open. They're creaking at the moment.
They're ajar.
And their percentage not good coming in, Port, just a tick above 100 as Walker goes to ground. He's
hot, this bloke.
He's got a bounce. That was ambitious, having a bounce in front of Lade.
Well, last week he did it and kept bouncing back at him, so I thought he'd have another crack. But I've really been impressed with his work in the centre, in the ruck work. I mean, we've got an athlete on our hands here, Satana O'Halpin, and he's getting better every minute.
Carazzo deftly sending it back to Lappin, who got pushed in the back by Salopek. Rowan Smith at ground level.
With Carlton playing the way that they are, they can afford the luxury of having Cooter on the bench just to come on every 10 or 15 minutes and pinch hit.
Whitnall marks it. Will play on. It's the tightest of angles. Or is he going to run around? Now, who's hedging there? Wakeland? Well, no one is.
He'll run out.
Oh, he will run out. He'll open this up and he'll kick the goal. That was scripted. Whitnall's got 2.
As he was walking back through the centre square, Warren Treadray looked to the bench to see whether he was supposed to go back down in defence or go back to his forward post.
Looking,
went forward.
Looking a beaten team. Port Adelaide, 49 points down. Those floodgates Jared spoke about creeping, opening with a flurry, perhaps. A free kick here to the Blues. This is an emphatic display. Away they go again. Murphy inside 50 hits Simpson. It could really get ugly.
Too easy. And it's, I tell you what is another amazing sign, I think, Jared, is that when they set up at the centre bounces in this third quarter, Chad Corns is starting in defence again. He did that in the first quarter and didn't touch the ball.
Simpson now to try and join in the goal-kicking fun. The lead is 55 points.
In defence once again.
Yeah. It's 8 on 8 in Carlton's forward 50. A lot of numbers. Laid the hit out. Sean Burgoyne. On the left, there's space therefore here in this forward line. It's 4 on 4 in Port's forward 50.
Well played, Scotland.
Got it to Saddington.
Is that a good year? He's Scotland again.
Sean Burgoyne, unselfish centering ball. Lappin, timely fist. Westhoff and Walker. Walker got there. Westhoff got him holding the ball.
He's been one of the very few shining lights in a very, very dark night for Port Adelaide here at the Telstra Dome. Justin Westhoff looks very promising.
As you see a replay at the moment, he kicks to Lade. Lade marks in the middle, runs to 55, kicks long to the goal line, and Gibbs touches it over the line. It's a goal to the power.
To Sean Burgoyne, but this time the Blues take it away.
Scotland, though, met solidly. Good work by White to bounce.
Tell you what was interesting, that bounce up there is Lade didn't even contest it. He ran to the hit zone where he knew Halpin was going to hit the ball. He's holding
Halpin's tall enough, isn't he?
Yeah.
Russell the handball. Bannister going without it. Cassisi brought down. Did well to get it out to Salopek. Kicks Port inside 50. Saddington got rid of Westhoff. Is caught, though, by Thurstons. Handballs to the right space. Will it sit? No. Throwing.
Well, whatever happens now from a Port Adelaide perspective, when you're getting belted, you don't need to block up the defence. You're going to lose the game. I'd like to see Mark Williams just say to his boys, we're going to play one-on-one football. It's time a few of you learnt to get back to old-fashioned footy and win your own contested ball.
Laid the palm down. Peter Burgoyne the pick-up from 50 on the left. Hits the top of the square. Westhoff the fly. Through hands are behind. Port slipping to a 4th consecutive defeat, it would appear, with the Bombers, the rampant Bombers, coming up next Sunday night at Amy Stadium. Scotland sending it wide for Walker.
Thanks, Robbie.
I mentioned early on tonight, Jared, that Bryce Gibbs had a big job on Brett Ebert. Done it reasonably well, hasn't he? Just 2 touches for Ebert and no goals. Boy, has he done it well.
Carlton affecting it. Switch to the outer side. This is Wiggins.
Brought back into the side last week. The Blues, they made a structural change last week. They dropped a couple of kids, taller kids who aren't runners, in Kennedy and Hartlett, and they brought in Bannister and Wiggins, a couple of runners, and I think it's made a big difference.
It has.
To their options on the bench. They were getting run over a lot in the league department. Up at half-time on a lot of matches they ended up getting belted in, and it's turned around the last 2 weeks.
Russell to Bannister. Loose man and a half forward. The vision was excellent. Carazzo just weaving his way in a little bit of space out there, hoping no one picked him up. They didn't, and he can have a shot at goal.
Possession number 22 coming up for Andrew Carazzo, the most of any player on the ground.
Having a terrific year. 34 touches against the Maggies in round 7, 37 last week. He's averaging 23 a game. Looking to become Carlton's 10th goal kicker to cross the century mark for the 6th time this year. He splits the middle. 101 playing 47.
And another goal kicked on Kane Corns. They've obviously decided that that player has to push forward at every opportunity, and then he has the red jumper on, and his teammates are just looking for him, trying to exploit Kane Corns defensively.
Brogan and Ackland now. Ackland on the second effort. Pearce kick smothered. Chad Corns brought down. They haven't given him much free space tonight. And we should get a bounce. Here in the middle again we will. So Carlton should reach halfway at 4 and 7 as you see Chad Corns get wrapped up by weight. And they've got the Hawks next Friday night.
Jeez, they are all over Chad Corns. That was a little push out. And that's what happens when you bag umpires. They're onto you.
Bannister long to Whitnell, got to beat 2, although Favola was waiting down, just went without it. Surgeon to Symes. Peter Burgoyne away on a bounce.
With Damon White here leading hard.
And goes in that direction. White with Scotland from one side and Lappin the other. He's double teamed, he's caught. He's pinged.
And that's the direct product of a poor kick from Peter Burgoyne. I mean, he's got Damon White working for him, leading into space, and he misses him. Makes the big bloke have to look for a loose ball on the ground, 1 against 2, and impossible task for him.
Lappin delivers to Bannister at centre half back. We've crossed halfway here, quarter number 3. Port making no inroads. Carazzo loops it over the top for Ackland. Carazzo held, so it will be a downfield free. Ackland saying, no, we don't want the advantage.
Jason, I'll be interested in your view when we get the vision of the Chad Corns push, whether you thought it was a free kick or not. But clearly, I think Chad has made himself known to the umpires as
who was that grunting?
Mumbles there.
Yeah, Murphy goes, well, to the top of the square, but Brogan is waiting. One of the umpires getting a bit of gut-busting run, perhaps, as Treadray is helped over by the fair.
Here's this free kick against Chad Corns.
Play on.
It wasn't that one.
No.
No, it happens off the balls.
There it is.
There it is. Tiny one. There it is. And that was an umpire. He couldn't really see, but he was...
Was it a push or was there a little fist into the stomach?
I don't think
that's
the
what he got
umpire,
picked for.
I don't think the umpire from behind could see, but he could remember.
An entirely appropriate answer as Brad Fisher will line up for Carlton's 17th goal, and Chad Corns is coming from the ground.
And the man doing the job on him, Jordan Bannister, comes off as well.
Fisher for his second. It's a Carlton party tonight. The Blues started tonight 3 games out of 8th place. They'll reach halfway 4-7.
And they will win more games playing this style of football, Cleveland.
Oh, and they've lost some unlucky ones along the way as well, haven't they? Brisbane 12 points, Kangaroos 17 points.
A lot of those are up at half-time, and they just had too many tools in. Not enough runners. I think they've addressed that situation. I'll tell you the other thing they'll get. They'll get bums on seats.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're good to watch.
Here's Scotland driving it long inside the 50. The Fev in front. Can't hang on. Crowd disappointed. Surgeon. Handball turnover. Carazzo to Murphy. Loose man out wide to his right. Here they are queuing up. Wiggins to Houlihan for his 3rd on the run for an 11-goal lead.
That's a smacking.
They've got loose players. It looks like Peter Burgoyne playing loose in defence for Port Adelaide.
Only 2 of Port's 6 beaten opponents are in the top 8 right now, so they put away the games earlier that they were expected to.
Yeah, but they won in round 1 against Fremantle, who were playing premiership footy in round 1. They were on fire, and Port produced football like that was strong and quick and into their forward face a lot more than they have at the moment.
Well, what they have tonight is an ineffective forward line. No Treadray, no Ebert.
Go back to the Chad Corns free kick from earlier on Bannister. That's a free kick, gents.
No, that's ridiculous.
Look at Chad Corns' reaction. I think that sums it up.
Soft.
Westhoff to try and get one back. One of the many they require. He kicks his second. Plays 7-11. Time on. 3rd term. Blues by 10 goals.
Big worry for Port Adelaide is as good as Justin Westhoff has been. He kicked 3 on debut last week. He's got a couple this week. He can't carry the forward line. They've got to find some other winners down there.
Here's Pearce thumping it deep, laid the target and the mark.
And this guy may have to play down there nearly full time, Gerald.
Well, I've always considered he's their best forward over the last 12 months with the problems that Treadray's had.
Well, with Brogan back, they may be able to do that now.
Well, I assume that that's how they would match start up this week, but I think Choco's got so much faith or so much vision to the next premiership side that he wants to get the games into the Westerkoff and Ebert, etc.
Lade went back to Pearce to open up the angle.
Chad Corns back on the ground and Bannister right by his side.
And one of the best nigglers going around, Jordan Bannister, in his 50th senior game, the son of a former boxing champ. As Pearce kicks across the face of goal for another Port Adelaide behind.
He's missed all night, Daniel Pearce. He's had a little bit of the ball. He's had 17 possessions, but he's got 2 behinds to his name and another one that went across the face of goals and missed everything altogether.
Scotland deep to the wing where Russell's found space. Well, he elects to centre it. They'll need a kind bounce. Bentic did very well. Got it to Blackwell. Back to Russell, who kept on going. 55 out, has to kick quickly. Fisher's being held and will get a free kick and should be able to kick his third as Lappin is dragged down.
You got Poleax down there with Matty Lappin.
Well, you can hear the umpire explain it there. As the ball came down, you dragged him over the shoulder. There wasn't a lot in it. He was feeling for the body, but there was enough. He'd be more worried about the knee he got in the head from his teammate, Kane Ackland. Bad Fisher.
Got it. Flush.
He's cleaned up a couple this week, Kane.
Fisher for his third.
Great for business in Lygon Street, this, Jason. Takings have been down 10 to 15% the last couple of years. They're back on the rise.
Their other industry was a little bit quiet of recent times, Gerald.
Yes, Clinton.
He's had no chance.
So the footy club will bring some back as you have a look at Cooter and Wakeland. They're patrolling things about 40 out from the Carlton goal. It's only 2-on-2 in the Carlton forward 50, so no one will come from the left here as Salopek is caught high by Bentic.
And Cooter's out there because Brendan Favola's having a spell on the bench now.
And they're kicking these high scores without Fev having a great involvement. 1 of their 21 last week, 2 of their 19 tonight. That didn't happen last year.
And that's a tremendous sign from a Carlton perspective.
Roden is in front of Houlihan.
2 metres, Brett, 2 metres, 2 metres.
I've liked Roden's game. I think he's really working on building a big season.
12 possessions and a goal for David Roden. He certainly puts his body in all the time, doesn't he?
Wilson to Treadray.
Now, he took a mark there, but he barely got off the ground when he jumped. There's just no power in the legs.
Gray in a wrestle with Gibbs. Whitnell to pick up. The handball to Bentic. Walker. Good run. And now Carlton just moving it out freely with Whitnell. Plenty of options short. One of whom is Blackwell, having recovered from his earlier knock. Handball for Ackland. On the wing, time to steady. Kick travels required distance to Cooter. Blackwell sending it forward. Lappin's provided terrific dash forward. Kicks it into Fisher. Can't quite trap it. He's claiming it a little bit ambitiously and will get a bounce.
There are loose players running around everywhere for Carlton at the moment, and they are not renowned for picking up Port Adelaide. Here's Warren Treadray. You just have a look there. He timed it well, and it was a good mark, but not a lot of spring in the legs.
Chad Corns dragged down. Navy blue jumpers circling like sharks at a feeding frenzy here.
Chad Corns now got the stage where he's laughing when the umpires don't give him a decision that he wants, Jared.
He hasn't won a free tonight, given 2 away. Ackland the head out. Blues just circling again. 25 out from their goal, looking for a 20th goal.
And I think it's a big reality check for Port Adelaide. There's a lot of players that haven't been prepared to work hard enough. Carlton running freely, but they're running defensively as well as in attack. Port Adelaide too happy to run in attack, not in defence.
That's what I reckon. You asked Clinton how they could have been 6-1. I just look at the work rate, and it's just not up to speed.
Look at them running now that they've got the footy, but it's what's going the other way that they struggle.
Ebert long to Treadray. Goes to ground. The Blues close.
Oh, they're not going to ping him, sure.
Effective bounce as we check in with Rowan Smith.
I'll tell you what, for a kid in his first year of AFL footy, Bryce Gibbs, he's been playing full back tonight. He's done a terrific job again. First year in your AFL career, playing at full back, it's really good effort.
Well, as we know,
Peter Burgoyne the snap for a nice goal. Not much celebration, sums up the night.
As we know,
119 plays 60.
I think there's a standout, but I just can't recall who it is at the moment. Jared, it will come to mind.
Well, last year's winner, Daniel Pearce, is out on the field at the present time. And I think he's got a bit of work to do to get close to where he was this time last year.
Cracker, Westhoff in front. Free kick, and it's going the way of Port Adelaide, is it? Umpire Goldspeak is there.
No score.
It's coming to Westhoff. Over the shoulder against Saddington, so Port will get back-to-back goals late in the third quarter.
He's going to be dangerous with this new rule. He's got long arms, he's got a good leap, and he's got good hands. And as we saw there, Jason Saddington didn't have the athleticism to go with him, so he had to whack the hands away. And he grabs a free kick.
So Westhoff for his third. 3 on debut, 3 in game number 2. And Port have kicked, so they're getting some value out of him. And
that's
David Roden, who was the 86th and final pick. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the third.
I reckon a few of the selectors for the draft would have missed him. If he had a turn side on at the wrong time, a few of the recruiting officers might have missed Westhoff.
Very dejected looking Mark Williams. He's resigned to the fact there's not much he can do. He's got too many players not getting near the footy.
Blues looking to force it clear. Whistle. And a free coming back for Carlton. The recipient is Simpson. He's got Waite in the middle. He'll drive it long inside the 50. Fisher and Favola in a pack at the back. Chad Corns read it well. Can go to half back and Symes. No long options present yet. So he carries. Kane Corns has to go short. And the run provided by Peter Burgoyne.
Just look almost. I reckon Choco will be taking this almost personally because he's got so much faith and I guess almost like the love of a coach has for his players that when he gets let down like this, it's almost, I think he takes it personally that, or he should take it personally because this group I don't think are producing anywhere near enough energy to back up what he's put in place.
Kane Ackland with a big shepherd on Chad Corns.
Meanwhile, Fisher, now there's only Port players back patrolling things, so he can't go for home. He goes for Bannister, who marks it 30 metres out.
Just have a look at the bump here from Kane Ackland coming into shepherd Chad Corns. You can see him there. Oh, he goes down a little bit stunned. Former teammates.
So Bannister in game number 50 did the job down back last week, lining up for a goal tonight and kicking it. 11 goal kickers, the Blues.
Well, he's happy. He's a Blue for life, that young kid, and his mates.
Gee, they're putting some big totals together, the Blues. 8 goals in the first quarter. They've kicked 9 thus far in the third quarter. They're just revolutionising the game, Jared.
9 straight.
Well, it's interesting at the top end. You've got Geelong kicking the most, but they've got basically the best back line in the competition as well, which allows them to go down the middle. But it might just be at the end of the year, Jason, that kicking goals is just as important as saving them come grand final time.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you?
125 playing 66 with 20 seconds remaining in the quarter. A bounce in the middle.
And I guess to that point, a big game tomorrow, Adelaide and Geelong.
Cats will claim top spot with a victory as Ackland gets rid of Brogan.
And with that victory, speaking to a couple of people in the industry today, they will be clear premiership favourites, the Cats, tomorrow if they win.
Now, did you see when Dean Brogan got that free kick? He put the hands there and said, take it easy, settle down, you know, like the tempo football. You're 10 goals down. What's slowing it down going to do for you?
Not much. Those fans are standing because their team unloaded 9 goals to 4 in the third term, and they're smashing Port Adelaide tonight. What will the final margin be? Stay with us to find out. Carlton 20 goals 5 to the power 9-12 with a quarter remain. And their most celebrated supporter is leading the chorus tonight. Hi, Bob. Good to have you with us at the Dome. Glory days are back again for the Blues. Quarter remain there, 59 points for the good. 20 goals, 5, 125 to the Power, 9-12, 66. Justin Westhoff, the second gamer with 3 of their 9 goals. The Blues have had plenty of forward targets, 10 goal kickers. Waite with 4, Houlihan with 3, Fisher with 3, the Fev with a couple. As they dominate on the scoreboard, Carazzo with 24 touches, Andrew Walker's had it 20 times. Scotland, who's getting a stack of the footy this year, averaging 26 per game, has 17. As we head down to Rowan Smith with Power assistant coach Dean Bailey.
Dean, it's fair to say that it's been a little bit disappointing so far.
Yeah, that's an understatement, Rowan. So you can keep repeating that. It's been very disappointing. Skills have been poor, and the game hasn't gone anywhere near what we wanted. Last quarter, we got to win the quarter because the first 3 have been really poor.
You added just a quick word to Sean Bergen. What did you say then?
Oh, look, he's still got to encourage him. What we don't want him to do is freeze in the last quarter. You know, we still want him to get some of the ball and use the ball where we can. But at the end of the day, we've got to get in the hands of Sean and Peter, and we've got to go inside 50 and mark the ball. We've been unable to do that, and our skills have let us down.
Good luck in the last quarter.
Thanks, Rowan. With Dean Bailey. Sean Burgoyne talking about, as we see Peter Burgoyne and Stephen Salopek there. Remember, big numbers. Round 2, 27 touches, 21, 20, 21 for rounds 3, 4 and 5, and then falling off 9, 13, 14, 18, and tonight Sean Burgoyne with 14 possessions. One of those players that Port will be looking for more in this important second half of the season coming up.
A very lengthy 3/4 time address from Dennis Pagan. And I think he's just, as we want, a little bit of ruck work here from Satantaro helping. He has been one of the reasons they've been able to nullify Port Adelaide's perceived advantage in the middle of the ground, and he's distributed the ball beautifully against a quality ruckman like Brendan Lade. I mean, you've got to be impressed with the work that he's done. But I think Dennis Pagan has said to his boys at 3/4 time, we've played 3 great quarters of footy, but 3 isn't enough. We've got to make it 4. We've got to win a clean sweep here.
Here we go for the final term from the Telstra Dome on Saturday Night Football. The Blues with an 8-goal first term, 3 in the second, 9 in the third. And their percentage could get a healthy boost here tonight. There to the right of screen, O'Halpin going against Adelaide. The Power starting with their forward line players, 4 of them within a cluster 20 metres from their goal.
And on the outer wing, you've got Chad Corns with Bannister again. We've seen him float into that back line a number of times. But Jason, you were saying at 3/4 time.
If he's going to go down back, what's the point of having him running around there with Carlton still allowed to put the tag that they want on him? Put him on a Jared Waite and have him beat one of the quality forwards for Carlton. That's the best way to have an impact if he's going to play down back.
Get a second bounce with Pye Woodcock in the middle. As you check the Blues bench, Cooter there with Bentick, Blackwell and Ackland to start this final term. Here's Sean Burgoyne trying to break clear.
Jeez, they're swamping here. Look at the numbers. They're hungry at the moment, the Blues. They're going to be tough to beat next week, Jason.
Absolutely. Friday night against Hawthorn. It's going to be a very good clash, I think.
Walker going to Favola with Wakeland to spoil. Salopek waiting down. The Power Teal queuing up his Kane Corns. That match will be on Friday night, a big stage for the Blues and the Hawks. Hawthorn having lost to Sydney today where they threatened to pinch it in a dramatic time-on period of the last quarter with a couple of misses at goal. Costly as Fisher takes the mark. Simpson. Well, he was met solidly. Fairly said the umpire, who was right there, and Porter happy to climb and concede a behind, and the margin is 10 goals. Another look at Simpson getting rid of it. Wilson pushing him off it late. Thurston's kicks in for Lay. Goes to halfback Pettigrew with space. Can go a long way. Sean Burgoyne presenting for him, kicking long now. Treadray getting back into the ruck. Thornton affects the spoil.
Well, it's hard to be critical of a bloke who's just run 125 metres, but if he just had have held the ball a bit longer, he had to get in between himself and Andrew Walker. So when he handballed it off to Sean Burgoyne, Burgoyne could have kept going and kicked the goal himself.
O'Halpin back for Thornton. Slices through the Port players. Lade can't mark. Opens the door for Simpson. Uses Fisher. Back to Carazzo. Sizes up the options and didn't choose a good one. Roden got rid of Walker and trots into an unguarded goal and drills his second. Get the first goal of the final quarter. 29,678 on hand. Terrific crowd, the best ever for a match between these two clubs in Melbourne.
And just looking at the Port Adelaide runner, he's out there and he just gave Daniel Pearce the biggest pump up. Not a bait, a great pump up. And I think the message came through from the assistant coach Bailey. They went out there full of positives at three-quarter time. They don't want to get blown away after a negative outburst.
Houlihan caught by Gray. Bit of spirit to start the final quarter. Salopek snaps at goal and misses to the near side.
But I think the cards will be put on the table during the week for Port Adelaide, Jason, because they've got another tough match coming up this week also against the rampant Bombers. They're just Clint, isn't it?
Yep.
There aren't many easy matches for any sides these days. A very even competition.
And Gerard will be there for that match next Sunday evening. Twilight football from Amy Stadium.
Well, there's a big crowd there and a big crowd watching on TV. And they need to improve their work rate.
Bannister on the run in game number 50. Celebrates in style. Right, Jason, if he does nothing breathtakingly brilliant here in the final term, 5 possessions goalless, does he automatically play next week?
Well, they've got a decision to make, haven't they, over Warren Treadway, because at the moment he's unable to make a contribution. And you can see him here, he's just labouring to get to the footy.
It will be his 200th game if he plays, so they should make a decision earlier because there'll be a lot of talk, a lot of hype about his 200th otherwise. Here he is on cue. What will he come up with? Good centering ball to the top of the square, gives Westhoff a chance. Can he tackle Scotland? He can. Is that deliberately out of bounds? No.
Well, surely he's saying there was a Carlton player close by that could have got it. The thing about Warren Treadway playing his 200th is you've got to be fair to Warren as well. He doesn't want to play his 200 if he can't have an impact or if he can't make a contribution. So maybe rest or a few weeks in the sandfield to get some touch might be the best thing for him. It might be hard to swallow, but he'd rather play a 200th where he has an impact than not.
Gray's hurried kick is wide. It's a behind.
The fact is they did win games early in the year without him playing.
Here's Scotland. Walker to Lappin on the wing. The margin, 58 points. Lappin saying, give me something. Goes perilously short for Cooter. Had it knocked away by Pettigrew. Wiggins back to Cooter. Well, a touch flamboyant there to Lappin, but very effective. Now Wiggins will run onto it. Quick hands required and delivered. Houlihan well smothered by Roden. Boundary throwing. Another look as Roden emerges. A 1%er. O'Halpin gets rid of Lade, takes the footy as claimed. Squeezes the kick out. Cooter, Simpson. Cooter wins out. Waite swings onto the right, then just pulls the kick, gives Houlihan a chance in the pocket. Stalked by Kane Corns, swings onto the left, hits the top of the square. Chad Corns flies, Favola claiming it, play on the call. Symes to Peter Burgoyne, Port can clear.
A little bit lucky there, Chad Corns, flying for the mark from 3 deep over the back.
Ebert with just 3 possessions tonight. And goalless after coming in with 21 goals to his name.
Done a great job, Bryce Gibbs, because he's a quality player, Brett Ebert.
Boundary throw. Rowan Smith.
Another player who's played a great game for Carlton against Knights and is having a terrific season is Andrew Walker. The job that he's done on Sean Burgoyne tonight has been outstanding.
Yep, 15 possessions and 1 goal to Burgoyne. That's down on his normal output.
And 22 and 1 goal as well for Walker. Laid the hit out. Burgoyne getting through. Got it to Gray. Tight angle, nice goal. Port get their second in the final.
Good jump.
Roden, well, Nice handoff to Sean Burgoyne. Now Peter Burgoyne in turn for Daniel Pearce, who wants to go on with it with Wiggins as they wrestle in the middle. Salopek, it's a good wrestle too. Salopek goes to Treadray. It's a very good wrestle.
Yeah, and I don't think Daniel Pearce is going to win it.
No.
Oh, did you hear the umpire there? Do you want to be a couple of grand lighter?
Well, who's the umpire? I'll give you no guesses.
Move away.
There's the emergency umpire, Troy Pennell. It was Darren Goldsmith saying that.
Well handled. Hit it well.
Just a reminder.
Yeah. Let the cash register out, ready to go.
Here's Treadray, the man we've been talking about.
Nice kick.
And kicking a goal.
And good to see a couple of young blokes get over to the old man. Give a pat on the back.
So Port with 3 goals to 1 in this final term so far. 10 minutes have elapsed.
I'd love to revisit one of Gerard Healy's statements if we get time to.
Feel free, we've got a bounce.
Well, just saying that those young blokes were in nappies when
they were
Warren
8 years old.
Wow. How many 8-year-olds wear nappies, Gerard?
Late developers.
Here's Lade. Sending it forward, and it's marked by Gray.
How old's Gray? Now, Mr.
He's
and Mrs.
18.
Gray, I wasn't actually referring to your son.
It's
Just worried about Bridget, your daughter here, Gerard.
It's a great thing that a couple of young kids have played very well tonight. We've got Robert Gray lining up for his 3rd. Justin Westhoff has already kicked 3. But when you're getting belted and your best 2 players are a couple of first-year players in their 2nd game, you've got problems.
Gray's offline.
Well, I won't say he's been one of their best players, but he has kicked a couple of goals and he's contributed and he's tried very, very hard, Robert Gray. But see, some of the senior players at Port Adelaide need to take a good, long, hard look at
He's gone over the line or on the line.
No ball. We'll get a bounce, top of the square.
He wants clarification from the 3rd umpire, the 4th umpire.
When you kick out your back foot, just over the line. Yeah.
Craig Henry, the description. Heath Scotland doesn't believe him. Still wants to have a look.
I don't think he made it up, Heath, did he? Let's have a look here. Great shot there. He's got the back foot on the line, and that's
no ball.
Correct decision.
Now they'll concede a behind through Simpson. And Scotland, get out of the way. Simpson says, I'll have it.
Andrew Walker's on the charge. Did he get him? No. Oh, nice work.
Stat.
Yep.
Did you do that in your time, Gerard?
I never got down there long enough. Geez, I was jealous, though.
Here's Scotland for Bentinck.
Well, this is where I've been critical of Port Adelaide. They have not worked hard enough when they haven't had the football. They haven't been prepared to run and man up players.
Nice body work from the Fev on the corner.
He cannot provide the finish. Each club now with 28 scoring shots tonight.
Has been extraordinary that Fev has not been a massive goal kicker in these huge scores that the Blues are kicking.
Geez, Clinton just made a valid point too. The fact that they've had the same amount of scoring shots and one team trails by 45 points is a worry.
Bentinck on the left to Watt. Had another impressive night. 4 goals, that's 7 in 2 weeks now. He's kicking here to the hot spot. Fisher at full stretch, Nilly. Blackwell, was he caught high? No, play on the call. He throws it out. Favola lost it. Kane Corns did well, got it to Symes. And he bounces it up to Thurstons with Cooter closing. And Cooter winning. Flicks it on to Houlihan from the left from the boundary line. And Wilson gets back there. Prevents a miracle, freakish goal.
Bryce Gibbs at the moment battling with Treadray. And Carlton.
Oh, he'd enjoy that, wouldn't he? Would have looked up to him too in his junior days. There's Lappin. Bombs it long. Can Favola take a hanger? He won't get the chance, but waiting down is Carlton's Bannister. He goes to ground. Wakeland. Now, Sean Burgoyne. Finding an opening, target Salopek. And he wore it as Walker got it.
Been a pretty good effort by Salopek to be playing today. He's got a broken nose, as we know. They don't heal on a week, Quentin. It'd be still nice and sore.
Here's Eben. Short to centre half forward. Daniel Pearce for Kane Corns.
Treadray with a run and jump. positioned his body well, Matty Lappin, to stop that.
Roden persisting. Gray got it to Cassisi on the left. Wonderful snap. Port with their 4th goal in the final term. Percentage could be a very important factor for both clubs. Come 10 or 11 weeks' time, and it's swinging back marginally Port's way. We're in the final term, although Walker's going deep inside the 50. Favola can give it to Blackwell, and he can snap. And if he gets a kind bounce, he'll be half a chance. He doesn't. Salopek runs it out for a throw-in.
Well, surprised that Salopek could take that across the line. I would have thought he'd do everything he could, given that he was 30 metres clear, to maintain possession, because this is all of a sudden giving the Blues another chance.
Wonderful little stutter step there by Berglund. Got Ackland going the wrong way. Lappin feeding the hand pass to Hurlahan, and like a thief in the night, Chad Corn sharks it. Daniel Pearce drills it into the chest of Thornton.
Oh, and Warren Treadray, that's the last thing you need. He had to look back at Daniel Pearce. He just drilled my opponent and hit him on the logo with a pass.
Free kick downfield.
And look who's going to be there to take it. Fev. Matty Lappin could have been the one, but Fev said, no, thank you. I'll be having that.
And thus will line up for goal number 36 for the season. Kicked 84 last year.
It's the 9 possessions for Brendan Favola. 5 kicks, 4 hand passes, 2 goals, 1 at this point in time. If you can kick 3 or 4 on your off nights, that's a terrific return.
And he usually kicks those. Not tonight. It is an off night. 2-1. And one taken here on the boundary line in the back pocket. Wakeland sends it to Symes on half-back. White with a spoil on Gray. Boundary throw-in on the outer wing.
A couple of weeks ago, they moved Jared Waite back to the forward line. They've experimented over the last few years with him as a forward and as a back. And he was as a back early in the piece this year that he was playing terrific footy, but since they've made that structural change, him up forward, a couple of extra runners in the side, they've gathered a new strength.
Speaking of strength, Pettigrew got rid of Murphy with some authority, sent it long to Westhoff, who couldn't mark. Lappin shovels it out wide for Scotland, and he fires it to Houlihan.
Well, you saw Scotland just 8 metres off the back of that pack. He knew instinctively, and he was probably yelling as well, that Lappin under instructions would have belted it backwards from that contest.
Walk it along, Wakeland waiting back, giving it to Chad Corns. He'll use his brother, and he can send it to half-back for Salopek.
Every kick these days is almost you need a university degree, don't you? That's the decision.
He just had no one working for him.
He should have gone quicker, though. The surgeon, I think, was in the middle. I think it was surgeon, and he just ignored him. But just wasn't acting spontaneously. It was only 15 years ago where 80% of the kicks were without thought. Just get it and kick it long.
Wiggins will be coming from the ground as soon as that nick under the eye is spotted by the umpire. Lappin, meanwhile, is marking on the 50.
Almost beyond his distance, Matthew Lappin.
After 5 last week, none tonight.
Took the left guard out and tucked it into the sock in preparation for this kick, and I reckon he tucked it into the sock of his kicking boot.
Maybe at this ground he's a chance.
Helped over for a behind.
In fact, he did. He just retrieves it out now. I would have thought if you're going to tuck your mouth guard into a sock, it'd be your left sock and not the right one that you're kicking with.
Why take it out at all?
Quite a few do.
Had a caller tonight to our post-game coverage on 3AW from the MCG saying it's unhygienic to put it in your sock.
In the worst places.
Surgeon, that was raised too.
One out, Westhoff.
And the kick is long. He's against Saddington. He kept his feet. And he's come up with goal number 4 in his second game. This is a terrific final term from Port as we embark on.
But that's the problem with other technical kicks that are paid, and those ones get missed. I mean, I don't want a free kick for any of them, but you want to see them either all paid or none paid.
Yep. And it is virtually impossible for the umpires to be in perfect position to see them every time.
Correct. Another reason why we should get rid of that dud rule, or that dud interpretation.
The old rule was better.
No, it's not yours, Dino.
I think what's been really good, though, is the restriction of the push. I reckon the push had got to a level where it was killing forwards. And backs, for that matter. Sometimes it was the backs that were pushed out. But whatever they come up with, I think it's given a better contest.
Here's Treadray looping it over the top for Kraken. No. Sending it in the path of Symes. He wanted to break free, but could not. The margin is 34 after it was as many as 66 in the third quarter. So they've salvaged some percentage at least as Whitnell marks. It's a little consolation for Mark Williams. Will retreat home with 4 losses in a row. They were top of the ladder, 6-1 after round 7. They'll now be 6-5 as Kane Corns marks well.
Blues will be thrilled with the win, Clinton, but not overly impressed with the margin, I wouldn't have thought. This last quarter has been a letdown for them.
Kasisi, and given they'll be coming from behind into the second half of the season if they are indeed to flirt with the notion of playing finals. Will there be another one for Port? It's Salopek on the run from 50 with a long ball. He's hooked it.
Could have run a lot further, Stephen Salopek.
Could have done. I mean, it's always difficult, I think, to be critical of sides that drop off.
Their work rate's been enormous, Carlton, for 3 quarters. But I just get back to Dennis Pagan, though. He was at his troops at 3-quarter time, and you just know he was impressing the fact that we need to turn this into a percentage booster, and they've just let it get away. It's a great win, take nothing away from Carlton. They've been terrific, but I just think they probably deserve a 10-goal win the way they've played, and it's half that.
5-5 to 1-3 in the final term. The inside 50s, each club with 50 tonight.
Here he is again.
Westhoff, short.
Short passing's not his forte.
Not his go.
Have that one back. Walker got Gray in the air, then runs around him.
Hands.
Oh, Halpin.
Satanta.
Go for it. This would be a nice celebration. A fitting way to close out the night.
Well, Satanta has been full back for the majority of the year. Last 3 to 4 weeks, I suspect he's been in the ruck. And I reckon he's showing enough to say that maybe he could become the Jimmy Steins II. Now, Jimmy was one of our all-time greats. He's a Hall of Fame member. But he's got the same motor and he's got the same position. And his development graph is very acute.
He arrived in Australia in November of 2003. Within 100 days of arriving, was playing in the Wizard Cup.
Do you like him as a ruckman, Jason?
He's growing on me. What he has got, I mean, you're comparing him to a Jim Steins. He's got much better speed than Jim Steins had, which makes him a very dangerous player around the ground.
Roden.
Worked it out.
Laid. This is scrappy. Sean Burgoyne kicks it behind. Treadray will sit it out for the closing 3.5 minutes. Game number 200 next Sunday night if indeed he does play.
Peter Burgoyne on the bench there again. 20 possessions and a goal. Doesn't look too bad, but hasn't been a very good night for him. A few errors. Hasn't worked hard enough at different stages and hasn't had any impact for Port Adelaide.
There's no question that Treadray will be playing next week, surely.
Play on!
Blackwell into the outer side. Fisher.
I'll take that as
Are you looking around for support there, Jared?
a question mark from you, Jason.
Houlihan. Blues can steady. 3-on-1 Port here. Lappin goes to ground, being bumped out of the contest. Westhoff for Pearce, lost it. Russell away. Favola. Now he can have a chance for goal number 3.
He's kicked 4 goals, Justin Westhoff, but he has made a couple of bad errors up the ground, and that's something he's got to improve upon, obviously, because he will at different stages spend a bit of time up the ground. He's probably capable of doing that. He just needs to be better aware of what's happening around him.
Well, Fev's at his best distance. We saw him kick from 35 out before, and he doesn't seem to kick it as hard. The components don't seem to gel together as they do when he's this distance out. I mean, this is almost put your house on it.
Glad it's your house and not mine.
Almost put your house on it.
2-2 and 1 out of bounds for the Fev as we check in with Rowan.
They're playing some great footy, Carlton, at the moment, kicking their highest score for the year. So 22 goals, 9, 141's their highest score for the year. So good effort.
Well, Jared, you're talking about Warren Treadray next week. The one thing we don't know about Treadray at this stage is his body improving? Are the legs going to get better, or is that what he's stuck with for the season?
Gray, about to be collared, gets the kick away towards centre-half forward, but filling the gap was Fisher.
Why that's a dangerous kick, because sometimes you can miss those blokes running backwards down the corridor.
Big red. O'Halpin. Scotland, good run. Just couldn't quite gather it. Murphy does, though, impressively. Back for Whitnell. Kick smothered. Pettigrew.
I think we'll find out, Jason, the answer to your question as to whether his body is getting better or not on whether or not he plays in his 201st game.
There's fair call.
Here's White.
Because at the moment, that is the great unknown. Is it getting better? Is it ever going to get better? Because if it's not, well, they may rest him after the 200th and just see if a sustained rest will help him later on in the season.
It's just stayed in somehow.
It's Carlton's night tonight. The breaks of the game going their way with a minute to play, although Simpson's kick not the best tonight. 39 points is their lead. This will only be their 4th win against Port Adelaide in 16 starts. And it's been fairly impressive since the opening term as Wiggins goes back with a good mark. They kicked 8 goals to 4 in the opening term, led by 4 goals at half-time. 33 was the margin at half-time. And then a 9-goal to 4 third term ensured that they would claim the points as O'Halpin wins a free.
You've just got to factor the improvement of this bloke into where the Blues are going in the next few years. I mean, he may well, in the next 12 months, become an A-grader in that midfield.
Well, he has improved so quickly. Where does his upward spiral stop?
I don't think there's a limit on it at the moment. I mean, we knew that they had Murphy. We knew they had Bryce Gibbs. Half a dozen other impressive young players, but I still think they're well down on talent to take them all the way.
That is a disgraceful option from Chad Corns. He had 2 players. Sean Burgoyne turns around with the hands up. Nathan Cracker looks back at him. He burnt 2 teammates that would have run into an open goal there.
Carlton have won 2 in a row.
Typical of their night.
They reach halfway at 4 and 7. They do it without a great contribution from Favola, yet still kick 22 goals, their highest of the season, and nearly 30,000 at the Dome celebrate.
Well, there's a big challenge for Rowan Smith running out of the middle. His gun shy is Satana O'Halpin, but this will be a big challenge to see if Rowan Smith can get hold of the Irishman. Maybe he'll go to a Carazzo, who's also one of the best players on the ground, or a Jared Waite indeed. But Smithy picks out his big man and gives him the votes. Let's see who he's got.
Down to you, Rowan.
Well, Andrew, couldn't hear because of the Blues crowd, but a terrific win again tonight.
Yeah, we always get a good turnout here, yeah, look, a little disappointed in the end. We let them get a couple of late goals, but boys are fantastic. We're playing good footy at the moment. Hopefully we can just keep it going.
Yourself, 37 touches last week, another great game again tonight. What do you put it down to?
Oh, mate, I'm just preparing well and just working my backside off, and I suppose it's getting a lot of help from the boys helps as well, so it's going okay at the moment.
Go and enjoy the win, mate.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Rowan. 4 and 7, Carlton at halfway. Port have lost 4 in a row. They're 6 and 5 with the Bombers coming up next week.
I think he mentioned something very important there, Andrew Carazzo, in that interview. He said, I'm just working my butt off. A few Port Adelaide players could maybe take a leaf out of his book. And working your butt off means not just chasing the footy, it means chasing the man and doing things that help your teammates out when the defensive side of the game comes into play.
Oh, great touch. They were punching each other up on Wednesday at training.
He's actually taller than he is.
He's a big boy. He could become a A-grade ruckman in the AFL, and he could do it in the short term.
Ooh.
Great night for the Blues. 22 goals, their highest score for the season. They beat Port for the first time in 6 years, and they reach halfway at 4-7. 141-102, our final.
Well, the fat lady was singing very, very early tonight. 39 points was the final margin, a one-sided affair. The Blues, a fantastic victory, their highest score of the season, 22-9, 141 to Port Adelaide, who just made the score semi-respectable in the last quarter. Waite with 4, Fisher 3, the main goal kickers for the Blues, Westhoff 4 and Gray with 2. Well, there was another match in progress tonight. That was up...
that he brings to the side.
Speaking of energy, he just needs it right now. That was one heck of an effort, wasn't it?
Yep.
And the Blues did it the hard way. Blackwell finishing it off, and they're back in front. Goal for goal at the G. It just might be a day for a shootout, you reckon?
Thank you. Oh, this is the way they play their football, Carlton. This is the way that Dennis likes his sides to play, up-tempo.
And they're playing against the ultimate entertainers in some ways, aren't they? The Doggies over the last couple of years. They don't mind it like this. Cooney away, a second, a third, getting within range. 52 out, going for goal. Johnson getting back was